Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
Agreement by which we can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are going to be talking about definitely another interesting subject. You know, we had a fired up show yesterday that was hosted by, you know, our main man, I forget exactly what name he was going by yesterday, but our beloved friend, I'm just going to say our beloved friend. And there was some things said that did get my brain to going. I think he did a fantastic job. That's real talk, y'all. I think he did a fantastic job, and I do mean that. He did a fantastic job. You know, panel was great. I definitely enjoyed it myself. Man, I couldn't hope for a better guest host to do their thing. I couldn't hope for something better. All right, it was fire. But I do believe, you know, there's issues that do need to be addressed. So this is not going to necessarily be a continuation of yesterday's show. No, I want us to look at some of the things that are really going on with us as black men. So here we got another show, Black Male Guilt, y'all. Black male guilt. And black men participating in white supremacy, y'all. Yep. don't like to say something like that, but you know, we got to do what we got to do out here, y'all. We're going to talk about black men participating in white supremacy. And I do understand it is coming from black male guilt. Y'all, you ain't got to check nobody if they already checked themselves, okay? You ain't got to check nobody if they already checked themselves. But before we get too far into this, let me take a moment out to give credit what credit is due. Look, I appreciate everybody who come through and give me views, y'all. I do. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Okay? Because, you know, I put the content out. You know, I want people to get it. I want people to learn from it. I want people to really examine some things going on in their personal world, see what changes they want to make, if they believe they need to make any. Okay? So I definitely appreciate everybody who comes and gives some views. All right? I appreciate everybody who makes a comment after the stream, because all these different things help the algorithm, y'all. All these different things help the algorithm. So shout out to everybody who make a comment after the stream. Appreciate that big time. You know, you're definitely helping. Okay, I appreciate everybody who hits that like button, y'all. I don't know why I feel like I gotta beg sometimes for y'all to hit the like button, but shout out to the people who do it. Okay, shout out to the people who do it. You know, I appreciate y'all big time. Appreciate y'all big time, and that's real talk. Okay. And y'all, I know they got this new thing about hyping people up. Man, hype me up, y'all. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know the effects of it yet. But heck, hype me up anyway. I'm going to take it, man. Hype me up every chance you get. That's real talk. Okay, that's real talk. And we got people who go above and beyond, y'all. Above and beyond. I appreciate these people because they allow me to do these things as I do them, because I wouldn't do it the same way without these folks. These are people who step up to the plate and give financial contributions to the stream, y'all. They give financial contributions. And it's a lot of weight when you put money behind stuff, y'all. It's a lot of weight when you put money behind stuff. And notice, I do not reduce my people saying they give them donations. No. They don't give donations. They give financial contributions, because I cannot do the things the way I do them without these folks. They are contributors. Okay, donations. And I understand a lot of people use the term donations. I'm not saying nothing against anybody who uses those terms. But donating means I can give you something without getting anything back in return. I don't do that. I give y'all great content. Okay, so y'all are my financial contributors, and I appreciate it and I respect it. Okay, I owe you a certain level of work, a certain body of work, because you are a financial contributor, and I try to make sure I'm doing an excellent job giving it to you. And that's real talk. Okay, so let's get into this. Well, right after I say shout out to a few more people, because when you start a stream, y'all, it's always great to see that you got people in the house with you. Real talk, real talk. It's always great to see you got people in the house with you. So before we go too far, let's give a shout out to not only that main person who is a financial contributor, y'all. And y'all may think y'all maybe think I be picking this stuff sometime, but I don't. It just be matching up randomly. Shout out to the real white man who is the sponsor of today's stream. That's not something I was doing deliberately. It's just how it came out. Now, I do believe, y'all, that was Red Pill Sleeper Cell, so shout out to that brother, but this just the way it kind of landed, y'all. The real white man is a sponsor of today's stream. And you know what? I can't think of a more fitting sponsor than the real white man. So shout out to the real white man for sponsoring this particular stream. Real talk, y'all. Shout out to the real white man for sponsoring this particular stream. And let me say, shout out to my people for showing up. All right. We got 7-9 Kale Hakate. Y'all, he is the first one in the building. He is what we like to call here at the Roger Report Live, the Highlander of today's stream. So shout out to 7-9 Kale Hakate. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother. Always great to see people chiming in when you're getting started. Shout out to my main man, Gold P is in the building as well. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Tunnel Runner is in the house. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. We got my main man, Trail Billy, rocking through here. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. And my personal favorite, hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Always great to see you representing. We also got my main man, Chef Mike's Roundtable. The pit master himself is in the building. Glad to have you, glad to have you. Okay, shout out to Floyd Thompson. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? We got Kevin 3905 in the building. Great to see you. Great to see you. And we got superstar Jay Quick. Afro Merchant is at the cool table. We got Revelator, the spirit of indifference, checking in. My main man, Debonair Brother, is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Inspired Truth Broadcast is in the building. The Saute Sheriff is in the house. Mr. Suge to you checking in. Great to see y'all. Great to see y'all. And we about to get started, y'all. We about to get started. Now, I'm going to check out what Debonair Brother say. And I appreciate you, Debonair Brother. Like he gave me some kind of compliment. He says, this series is extremely clever. Amazing how you keep this show fresh. Appreciate the thought that goes into these series. Well, I appreciate you for saying that, my brother. I appreciate you for saying that. And that's real talk, y'all, because I understand we can do a lot of great things, but no matter what we do, we can keep some entertainment involved too. You know, you can do a lot of things with entertainment. You ain't got to just be entertainment. But shout out to all the people who entertain us out there, because I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. There's a lot of great content creators that do a lot of great stuff in entertainment. I appreciate folks like that. But we can do other things, and we can include some entertainment with it. And that's what we're doing, y'all. So let's think about this, y'all. Black male guilt. All right. I'm going to tell you that it is black men participating in white supremacy, y'all. Okay, it's black men participating in white supremacy. And some people may say, well, what is he talking about? Well, no. If you a black man and you feel guilty about what's going on when you hear the word community, you are participating in white supremacy. Okay, now, this is what we all got to get real about. If you grew up in this country, if y'all grew up in America, and shout out to all my people listening around the world, you know, shout out to all them, because there are places that are very similar to America where a lot of similar things goes on. I'm not going to ever say I'm an expert in their lifestyle, but they have places where similar things are popping off. Okay. And it's not like these white supremacy thoughts ain't being shipped around the world. Let's be real about this stuff. Okay. But now, to participate in white supremacy, you just need an entryway. You just need an entryway. Now, if you raised in America, point blank period, you were taught to be a white supremacist. Now, that could have been your parents doing it. It could be the fact that you went and got a public school education. It could have been that you watched American television. It could have been that you watched American movies. It could have been that you simply talked to American people who were bathing in white supremacy as they were growing up and becoming adults. It's out there. Okay. The hardest, well, I ain't gonna say the hard, but one of the hardest things for somebody not to do is to buy into white supremacy while being raised in America. And I know this is tough. It's a tough concept when y'all can figure out that black people are included in this. All right. We go to schools. Who was directing what we were learning in these schools? White supremacists. Okay. You go to a public school. Who directed your education? White supremacists did. It's just that simple at the end of the day. Okay. So don't think just because you black, you scathed by. And I'm going to do my best to help black people understand that white supremacy is not a real thing until we make it real. It's an ideology. And there's far too many people in America participating in it, including black people. And you owe it to yourself to learn how to get rid of it, to learn how to let it go. Make your peace with it. I don't need to participate in this stuff no more. So we're just talking about a small piece of white supremacy right now, and that's black male guilt. Now, people say, you a black man. You're supposed to be a leader. I wouldn't argue that. Wouldn't argue that at all. Okay. But as a leader, am I supposed to lead my people in a way that white supremacy directs me, or am I supposed to lead my people in a way that is good for my people? Now, every black man gonna have to deal with the fact that you're a leader in some type of capacity. Now, how many people you lead, what kind of things you lead, all that's up to you at the end of the day. All right. That's all up to you. You get to make your decision. But black men are leaders. If you don't believe me, you can see how we influence the world. It's just something about us that the world seems to attach themselves to. You may not lead people in the right direction, deliberately. You may lead people in the right direction deliberately, but you're going to lead either way. Now, the thing is, a lot of black men, we have to learn to respect other black men's leadership. That's something we don't really get trained in. We got to respect other black men's leadership. Now, I put a few links in the description, y'all. Okay? I put a few links in the description. Four of them, actually. Some very interesting stuff that I put in the description. Now, the thing is, just some examples of black men doing things that come along in life on a regular basis. Okay? Just doing things in life on a regular basis, and how living in this country, how things can go very easy. Okay, very easy. Shout out to Debonair Brother. He says, Roger, I would like to hear what you think about the weird guilt black men have fighting white supremacy. Anytime you discuss racism, black men feels it's negative or heavy or aggressive or something like that, even when we're right. Well, you know what? I think a lot of that will be dealt with in today's stream. I believe a lot of that is definitely going to be dealt with in today's stream, because we quote unquote feel some type of way. Okay. And I think a lot of black men have never recognized it. The reason they feel some type of way is because of white supremacy. All right. Now, based on the information I gathered, okay, y'all see that link? It talks about, well, if you look at the link that's in the description, it talks about a therapist. Now, the therapist is saying that, she hears from time and time again from black men who, quote unquote, don't, see a quote unquote safe space for them anywhere. Okay. Well, now I ain't gonna quote unquote, I'm paraphrasing. Basically, what she was saying, black men don't feel they have a place anywhere in America. And I can totally understand that, because I grew up in this America too. And truth be told, if you listen to the messages of America, they definitely tell you don't have a space anywhere. That's definitely how this country runs. Okay. This country runs off of hating black men. And anybody who hasn't figured that out yet, they don't even get it. Okay. But see, you can participate in it and not really pay attention to it, because your subconscious is going to rule you at the end of the day. Your subconscious will rule you. So a woman who deals with having to actually talk to black men, she understands they are getting the message that they ain't got no place here. Okay. Now, the thing is, as black men, we need to realize there is a choice somewhere. And just because we're raised in something don't mean we have to agree with it once we become adults. Children got to rock with whatever their parents do. It is what it is. They're going to have a lot of problems if they don't rock with what their parents talking about. But once you grow up, you become an adult, okay, you can think for yourself. You can start making some different moves. And once you become grown, now grown means you actually have the ability to take care of yourself, okay, and other people. Okay, I'm making a distinction between just being an adult. An adult in America just means you hit 18 years old. And you're a right-minded person. But to be grown means you are an adult that can take care of yourself and others. Okay? So it's a lot of folks out here that may be adults, but they're not necessarily grown. Because grown means growth has occurred. Now, we also got a second clip where a young man, talking to his lady, she slapped fire from dude. because he just wanted some twist. Now he got a woman who can do twist. So what did he do? He did the respectable thing and said, hey, baby girl, why don't you hook my twist up? Who should he be asking? And I understand a lot of people see that stuff as somewhat intimate, and there's a lot of people when they get their hair done, okay, they get some braids in their hair, they get some twists done, the retwist. I've seen people do this stuff. What happens a lot all over America among some black folk? A dude will get his hair done, and he gonna be sitting between, he gonna have his head between some woman's legs at the end of the day. He may be sitting on the floor. Okay, she may be sitting on the bed. She may be sitting in the chair. He may be on the floor. She may be sitting on the couch. There's a lot of putting heads in the middle between women's legs involved in that. I ain't saying that's how it always happens, but there's a whole lot of that happening when people are getting certain things done with their hair. So it is what it is. So a lot of people can understand that there's a certain level of intimacy in that, and they don't want everybody doing that with everybody else. Just is what it is. Okay. So obviously, this young lady didn't like the idea of her man putting his head between somebody else's legs besides her. Now, she slapped him, got him good, and it's cool. Okay. It was cool with her. She brushed it right off. My man say, I wasn't even really going to do nothing. I'm talking out of frustration, but she brushed it right off. Brushed it right off. Oh, that wasn't nothing. Just lay down, get you some sleep. You tired. You tired. Okay? You just saying stupid stuff because you tired right now. That's all it is. Go on back to sleep. Everything going to be all right in the morning. Okay? Don't get slapped again. Don't get slapped again. It'll be all right in the morning. And see, these type of things go on in Black America. Now, we got a couple famous examples. We got Chris Rock and Nia Long. Obviously, at some point in time, they went out on a date and relationship could have formed. Relationship could have formed. But I'm going to say Nia just being Nia, because who else was she being when she was on a date with Chris Rock? Who else was she being? All right. Date must have went okay, somewhat. Chris never called her back. Okay. She actually, picked up that phone and eventually called Chris, and Chris done hit it with a different set of digits, anything but his own. Okay. Anything but his own. And he admitted right there, y'all, obviously on some kind of television show where this is done, he admitted it right there. Yeah, I gave her the wrong number. It was absolutely deliberate. You want to know what this chick told me? Okay, I'm asking her a serious question. And you know what? Shout out to Chris for asking what he want to know. I say all the time, Black men, you ask whatever you want to know. It's that simple. You're dating her, man. You're gonna be putting money into a woman. When you take a woman out, it costs. Okay, it costs. All right, you paying for that. Ask what you want to know. Okay, he asked what he wanted to know. Look, are you messing with anybody else? Are you seeing somebody else? Serious, good question for him to ask. Cause just cause she on a date with you don't mean she ain't messing with other folks. And that response she gave him, if I want some dick, I know where to get it. Now, maybe she didn't realize it, but basically she said, look, Chris, I appreciate the fact that you showing me a certain level of respect as a woman. I appreciate the fact that you are tuning into me at this particular moment. Okay? Because, we tune in to certain women at different moments. He's tuning in to her at that particular moment. And you know what she told that man? Even though I appreciate the fact that you tuning in to me at this particular moment, Chris, I want you to understand one thing. Okay? I want you to understand one thing. Okay? It's somebody out there right now He dropping dick off in me whenever I really want it. Okay? He dropping some good dick in me the way when I want it. He just sits there and he waits by the phone. And when I say, hey, come put that thing on me, he coming. Okay? Not only is he coming, his job is to make sure I'm coming too. Okay? So don't you think for a hot second that it ain't somebody out there who gonna drop some good dick in me when I need some. Okay? If I'm feeling frustrated, maybe I'm dealing with some man and that man pissed me off, or maybe I got dolled up and went on some date and it went horribly wrong. I'm gonna get this dude a call and he dropping good dick in me. Cause now see, you got to think about this, y'all. Y'all got to think about this. If she already got the guy on the sideline, it ain't cause he ain't dropping good dick in her. What woman is having sex with some man that she's not in a relationship, but he ain't dropping good dick off in her? Think about that. Think about it. And ain't a bunch of women gonna do that. Ain't a bunch of women gonna do that. Okay? So, it is what it is. All right? It is what it is. Now, Nia Long, a grown woman. That's on her. Chris had the good sense to recognize what was going on, at least to a certain level. He had the good sense to recognize what's going on, at least to a certain level. But you know what? Chris, he a Hollywood guy too. He rich too. Chris understood that, you know what? I could just go find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers have wanted Nia Long. But Chris understood, I could just go get somebody else. It ain't the end of the world. Okay? But this is the type of stuff that happens regularly with black men. Now, there was another example where, a guy asking questions and, sister answers a question. It's about communication, about the fact that women lie about communication, about the fact that women do expect men to be mind readers. And when she got, quote unquote, put the task on it, she just admitted right then and there, oh, we be lying. We tell y'all some nonsense that we don't care nothing about. Okay? And y'all supposed to figure out that the stuff we telling y'all is lies. And you supposed to figure out how to come correct and treat us right. Not treat us right in the stuff we say is actually, that we talk about being treated right. No. You're supposed to treat us right in meaning you're supposed to treat us in inappropriate ways that we still gonna feel good about. That's what we need you to do. We need you to treat us in inappropriate ways that we can still feel good about. So all that stuff about I don't want to be dog, I didn't mean that. I meant you supposed to dog me in a way that I can feel good about. And I know for some men, that might be a little baffling. You hearing me say this right now. Bro, she said what she said. What you got to do is accept what she said. Women tell us stuff all the time. Y'all keep saying most communication ain't even verbal. Now you got it out one of them mouth. Okay. You got in this particular video, you got one woman to tell y'all what's real out of her own mouth. You can't say what she said don't match reality. Yeah, they gonna tell us some stuff. Cause they are always worried about their image. So they told us something that's good for their image, but when you pay attention, treating them with a love, respect, and an appropriate fashion ain't necessarily what black women looking for. Okay? More than often is not what they're looking for. So when you treat a woman right, you don't feel guilty because she didn't accept it. That was her. She's the idiot, not you. But what do we have, y'all? We have black male guilt because we want to participate in white supremacy. Now, y'all may say, well, what are you talking about? How does this participate in white supremacy? Look, y'all, we ain't got nothing to feel bad about as black men. Okay, we ain't got nothing to feel bad about. Okay, how am I supposed to feel bad about a woman who gets treated wrong in some relationship with some man and I ain't date her? How am I supposed to feel bad about that? Dating is something we're supposed to do to court somebody. Some woman went out with some dude and he treated her like trash. But for some reason, people want me to feel guilty about some other guy treating some woman like trash. Now, I don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel guilty about that at all. I'm not a white supremacist. Okay? I ain't a white supremacist. You ain't gonna get me to feel guilty about it. You can feel guilty about it as long as you want to. That's on you. But what you ain't gonna do is get me to feel guilty about it. I don't care. It's that simple at the end of the day. I don't care. She did what she wanted to do. Now, you may say, well, what if she really wanted to go out with a guy and she thought he wasn't gonna treat her that way? Psst, come on, man. Come on, man. Look. Everybody gets signs of who a person is. You talk to a person, you see how they dress, you see how they act, you see how they talk to you over the phone, you see how y'all establish communication with each other. There's certain things you can get a certain expectation over. You may not be right 100% of the time, but you're not a pure idiot either. So what does that tell me? People date the type of people they want to date. They're looking for a certain result. See, a lot of men don't get this. Y'all think women mess with y'all because of you. No, she don't mess with you because of you. She mess with you because of her. She's trying to get certain outcomes. And she's willing to deal with the man that she believes she can get those outcomes out of. Now, I'm going to try to make this easy for you, y'all. I'm going to try to make it easy for you. We've all heard of gold diggers, right? Why would a woman mess with a particular man? If she's a gold digger, what is her goal? Her goal is to get with a man that she can extract money from. Okay? That's her goal. So that's why certain gold diggers are going to go after richer men from Jump Street, because they are trying to extract money, but it's easier in their mind to extract money from a guy who has more money to extract. She messing with who she want to mess with so she can get what she wants out of it. You see, you thought it was you. No, it ain't you. She's going after what she wants for herself. The same way when you look at a woman and you pursue a particular woman because of what you want, it ain't about her. When I see a woman and she got a nice shape on her, I'm talking to her because she got that nice shape, because I want to mess with a chick with that nice shape. Okay? It is what it is. You know? If I'm dealing with a woman and she got a sweet, lovely personality, so I'm steady messing with her, that means I want access to that woman with the sweet, nice personality. I'm looking out for me. Okay? I'm looking out for me. In return, I would do stuff for her, but I'm looking out for me. Okay? I'm looking for the woman that's loyal. I'm looking for the woman with good character. I'm looking for the woman that's good company, because I want it for me. If she ain't got those things, I don't want her. It's that simple. She ain't got that stuff, I don't want her. I like a woman with a nice pair of lips on her. I like a woman with a nice pair of hips on her. Okay? I like a woman with a beautiful personality. I'm going after what I want. Is what it is. The same way they go after what they want. Okay? See, a lot of y'all, you think you that dude. You're never that dude. You're always just a dude that is supplying what she wants. You ain't got to be ashamed of it, but you got to make sense of it. So now, we live in a society that focuses on what black women, quote unquote, don't get. Black women put a lot of focus on it, and the powers that be try to hype it up as much as they can, because this entire country is an anti-black man country. That's what America is. That is the collective of America. It's an anti-black man country. So now that, if you accept that this is an anti-black man country, what do you have to feel guilty about? See, even black women like to play games. They'll say, you niggas ain't nothing because you ain't do this and you ain't do that, and y'all want to blame some white man. Or y'all want to blame some woman. Now, let's be realistic, y'all. Are there white people in America actively doing stuff to stop black men from advancing? Yeah, absolutely. Do black men have to overcome all type of stuff with white men? Yes. We got to overcome stuff that happen with white women. We got to overcome stuff that happen with Hispanic men, Hispanic women. You know, we got to overcome stuff with all kind of men and all kind of women in this country, because this country is designed to be a black anti-male country. It is what it is. Did you got to overcome things with women, especially black women, of course, because we mess with them more than any other group of women. And they were raised in this country that has an anti-black male agenda. So they got one. So you know what women are saying when they say, you niggas want to blame some white man, you niggas want to blame some woman? Basically what they're saying is don't hold them accountable. Now, I'll never buy into being falling into a victim narrative, but at the end of the day, I also can recognize people who are telling me not to hold them accountable. You ain't do this and you want to blame some black woman. What black man blamed the black woman on something she didn't actually do? Because I'm going to tell you, I simply miss those stories. Grown as I am, I can confidently tell you, I missed it every single time that I heard, or I guess I should have heard, some black man blaming some black woman for something she didn't do. I didn't hear that story. I've heard men talk about getting divorced because some woman filed for one. Well, she did that. I've heard men talk about women who don't allow them to see their kids, and she does that. I've heard men talk about how some woman destroyed his car. She did it. I've heard about men who said that, some woman burned his clothes. She did it. Okay. I've heard a whole lot of stuff from men about what some black women done did, and she did it. What I have not heard is black men sitting around complaining about what some woman did and she didn't do it. I missed that one. Okay. I missed those two things, those three things, those four things, whatever number you want to attach to. I missed it. I have yet to see black men sitting around complaining about what some woman did and she didn't actually do it. So women will sit there. Y'all talk about what the white man did to you and what the black women did to you because you ain't doing this. No, I see where white men and black women are actually doing things. Now, only a idiot is going to blame somebody else for something that another person did and you have the information. See, it's one thing to blame some person if you think they did something they didn't do. But when you get the information, why are you blaming somebody who didn't actually do it? If you hit me, I'm hitting you back. Because I'm not blaming somebody else. Okay, I'm not blaming somebody else, y'all. A woman can be with her man. If she hit me, I'm hitting her. Now I understand. People, hey, she was there with her man. You should have followed him. Well, we gonna fight anyway. Because what you think he gonna do if I hit his woman? What you think he gonna do? You think he just gonna sit there and let me hit his woman? And ain't gonna do nothing? See, a lot of men, you go into white supremacy because if I hit your woman, obviously she did something to me. But what you gonna do? You gonna go into white supremacy. You gonna want to fight me because you let your woman get out of pocket with me. You was right there. Why would you let your woman get out of pocket with me? Why would you let your woman hit me? But you rather fight me for hitting your woman rather than grab your woman up so she wouldn't hit me. You know her. I don't know her. Okay, you know her intimately. You know when she get flared up. You know when she about to do stuff, and you let it happen. So why you mad at me because I hit her? You don't want to let her do it. Y'all see, that's guilt. See how that guilt work? Now, would I want to hit a woman? Of course not, because I don't want to hit anybody. Okay? But if a woman hits me, I know I'm in a fight. Now, just because a man is standing there, don't mean I ain't going to hit her. Okay? It don't mean that. She hit me, we fighting. And don't let me know you personally as a man. Like, bro, why would you let your woman do that? Why you want to fight me? You seen her hit me. You know, so are we friends or are we not? Are we friends or are we not? Because if your woman hit me, which you shouldn't never let it get to that point, but you should be grabbing her up like, no, you ain't finna be doing this. Okay, you ain't finna be doing it. But what do a lot of men do? They will ruin perfectly good relationships with men that truly got their back because they let a woman get out of pocket. And a lot of black men, we've had this guilt, so we just let our women get out of pocket with us. They do something to a guy you've been friends with for 10, 15, 20 years. Now they get into it. Okay, the girlfriend and the friend done got into it and you let it happen. You was standing right there the whole time. And why you let it happen? Because you felt guilt. Some black woman was supposed to have her way with your friend because at the end of the day, he's still just a man. And technically at that particular point, you might be looking at him as he's still just a nigga. That's why my girl can talk crazy to him, because he's just a nigga. He a nigga like I'm a nigga. Your girl can talk crazy to you because she look at you as just a nigga and you accept it because you yourself still see yourself as just a nigga. So when you see yourself as just a nigga, you're going to see your friend as just a nigga, and then she can talk crazy to both of y'all. And she can put her hands on you. Now, y'all saw that young man in the video. He done got slapped and ain't even thought about knocking fire from her. He ain't even think. There was no thought process. Y'all seen him get slapped. And there was no thought process in him that says, I'm worthy to protect myself. Okay. Now, he's a younger man. I'm going to say shout out to that brother. Hopefully he turned it around. But that man don't view himself as somebody worthy of protection. He don't think he's supposed to protect himself. And yeah, there was a couple guys in there saying, well, you know, if this was, you know, I hate the way men do this. Well, if that was the other way around, y'all would be tripping if he hit her. I don't like doing that because I don't like to reduce men to women. Okay? I don't like to do that. All right? My thing is it don't need to be the other way around. She hit him. He should have handled his business. Okay? Now, don't get it twisted. If you do something from a good Christian standpoint, because I'm gonna say be as godly as you can. Now, if you turn the other cheek up on something for God, then okay, I understand that. But if you just gonna let somebody slap you and don't nothing happen, bro, what's up? Nothing happened. And this is where black men gotta start making decisions, y'all. As a black man, are you worthy of protection? You can protect yourself in a lot of scenarios. Now, let's keep it real. 9 times out of 10, that young man and that young woman staying together. Brother is not finna break up with her. She done slapped the dog stuff out of him on camera, and then she gave it out. Now, I don't know if she uploaded it to the internet herself or she gave it to a friend. So, and then the friend uploaded it, but it got uploaded, y'all. It got uploaded. Think about that. It got uploaded. She done slapped that man, and somehow it lands on the internet. Now, I don't know why they was recording. They could have been recording stuff for a bunch of different reasons, but why did that slap make it to the internet? And a lot of us don't even recognize that that's a problem. See, when you saw that video, it never crossed your mind that the fact that it made it to the internet is a problem. You may have seen the slap as a problem. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. But you didn't even think, man, how did that make it to the internet? What's going on there? If they good with each other, how did it make it to the internet? And some of y'all may say, well, maybe she put it up after they broke up. Why did she keep it? Okay, why did she keep it? See, black men be feeling guilty about stuff that don't even make sense. So when black women don't get to certain places, don't have certain things done, struggle in certain situations, I don't feel guilty at all. What I do know is there's a lot of good black men out here that would look out for black women. And what I do know is they haven't positioned themselves for the men to take them on seriously. And what I do know, America is basically a free country, so it's their own fault. That's simple at the end of the day. But I got a couple guests that just popped up. So let me go ahead and let them get a word in. So I'm going to give the mic over to Slap the Taste Out Your Mouth, y'all. That's the name. Hey, they picked their own names, man. So Slap the Taste Out Your Mouth. You have the flow, my brother.
Salute to you, Roger. Salute to the chat, people on the panel. This is a very interesting follow-up. So first of all, let me get a little bit of clarity. So you're saying that black men guilt helps them to participate in white supremacy?
Yeah. It's just a mechanism of white supremacy.
Okay. All right. Well, first I'm going to address the links from Nia Long on the Wendy Williams show to the woman that just literally slapped the taste out that little nigga. So first let me get to that. So I mean that's a classic example of black men's guilt and encouraging and participating encouraging and participating ratchet behavior, right? Because when you don't check something, right, you're letting people know that that's okay. And the fact that he didn't leave her immediately after that, or if you don't want to hit a woman, call the cops, press charges immediately after that. Man. Hello?
Now go ahead. I think that's I think he wasn't muted. He just muted himself. Go ahead.
Immediately after that is diabolical. But that's perpetuating the situation of encouraging bad behavior. Because man, I would never hit a woman. That's just not my thing. But I would call the cops. I'm leaving. I'm kicking her out of my house. Right? I'm something's gonna happen legally to where she's gonna feel the repercussions. And with the whole Chris Rock thing, I mean, he did something that a lot of dudes don't do. He understands that he can get another woman. Because a lot of dudes would have just been like, okay, and kept pursuing her. But at the end of the day, when you pursue women like that, when you marry her, you're gonna be sitting up in family planning, wondering what happened, because now you're up there wondering if the kids are yours. Now pass the mic on that.
Okay, Kryptonian Emperor Dessalines. Are you there? Because I think somebody called him, but are you there, my brother?
Yes, sir. It's a happy Tuesday. It's a happy Thursday going on, man.
Happy Thursday, brother. Happy Thursday.
I can, I can smell the weekend coming, man. I got, I got a lot of plans for the weekend, man. I got beers to drink, video games to play, good food to cook. Man, my life is good. My life is good, man. I ain't got no hoes to worry about, and I don't have to feel guilty for no hoes. Guilty for what? I don't know you. I don't owe you. I'm not the reason why you're in the mess that you are. Um, I've made sure to structure my life around what I can afford and do for myself. I don't count on other people's money or help to make ends meet. I'm a grown man. I do what I gotta do. And for all the black men, shed that guilt, man. All the black men listening to my voice, you got three sentences that should be part of your lexicon. Sentence number one, ain't got nothing to do with me. Sentence number two, that's a you problem. And sentence number three, my wallet, my choice. And honorable mention, fuck them kids. I pass the mic. Thank you.
Okay. All right, now y'all. This is the thing, and I seen something in the chats. What I'm saying don't make sense to everybody right out. It doesn't connect you to white supremacy. Now, y'all, the examples that I threw in the links, these are just regular, everyday examples that just happen amongst black folks. It ain't like there's nothing special. Yeah, Chris Rock and Nia Long are famous rich people, but what happened between them ain't nothing special. It's been many a man that went out with many a chick, and that chick had somebody dropping off dick in her. Point blank, period. And she called him when she want to, and he finds a way to get over there. That's been going on. Okay. I think Chris did the smart thing. He asked what he wanted to know. I want to know, are you messing with other people? That's really what it come down to. And the answer was yes. Whether y'all realize it or not, the answer was yes. She is messing with somebody else. Whenever she wants to, you're taking me on the date, but the other guy, no, he just give it to me when I want it. So he don't have to take me on no date.
That's why I said you're going to end up in family planning 3 years from now, wondering if the kid is yours.
Now, I think that's a good point, but I am going to continue to encourage every black man, get all your newborn children tested. Point blank, period. Before you sign anything, you get all your children tested. That just has the way it needs to be for us. Let everybody else battle about that stuff. For us, let's get all our children tested. When they born, we test them before we sign anything, acknowledging that they are. I don't even care if you married. Your wife should be able to understand. It's not like it's a hidden secret that a lot of women done had a baby on the man. It's not a new thing. Okay, it's been out there for a while now. So now, Chris didn't necessarily feel any guilt about what the situation was. Now I hate to think that it's because he was rich and famous that he was able to just walk away. But for a lot of men, because they're not rich and famous, they wouldn't necessarily walk away. So I do agree with you on that. And that's real talk. And my thing is, all these different things, these are just some of the things that go on where this guilt is how we as black men participate in white supremacy. Because women say this stuff about what black men have not done for them. And we take these things seriously. And we never question, why are we taking this stuff seriously? Because a lot of men have not been raised in the home, and we haven't been taught a simple rule about going through the next man, or being in accord with the next man, or having respect for the next man. If a woman needs something, all she got to do is ask her husband. If the husband can give it to her, more than likely he will. If he agrees that it's a good thing for her to have, he'll give it to her. If that man cannot give it to her on his own, he would incorporate other men, and he'll still give it to her.
But see, Roger, one of the situations is that another thing we can't ignore is that when you grew up with a two-parent home, but a lot of us grew up in a one-parent home.
Well,
how
I'd say partially, because my parents technically did get divorced. Now, my father was still always around. So, yeah, he was still there doing all kinds of stuff, way more than he may even should have. But, technically, they got a divorce at some point. It's hard for me to remember when they actually got divorced because my father was around so much even after they got a divorce. But technically, they got a divorce at some point.
But my point is this: a lot of times when we're kids, 8, 9, 10 years old, when your mom's friend come over, you overhear shit, right? And you hear them talk about men like dogs. And because that's your mom and you're at that impressionable age, that's one of the tipping points where you say, I'm going to be different, right? That's why a lot of black men don't have children because they, hey, I'm going to be different. I'm going to raise my kids. I'm not going to be a stranger to them, right? And since we recognize that black women try to keep black men away from their kids, they don't have kids like that. But a lot of men will internalize what their mother and their aunts and grandmothers say because it's all about it's all about uh niggas ain't you know what SHIT.
I think that's a very good point. And I think when we become adults, that's why we got to start really examining what we agree with. Because we can be raised a certain way, but do you actually agree with it as an adult? You got to make that distinction for yourself. So, yeah, I know there's kids who hear all kinds of stuff from mama, aunties, like you said, grandma, mama's friends. They hearing a whole lot of negative messaging about black men. So the girls are trained to be a certain way when they become adults. And the boys, they say, well, I want to be a different way so I can counteract what I've heard growing up over the years. So I'm going to be the exact opposite. And they attempt to do that. Right. And we do develop this guilt. And all I'm saying is the guilt really just allows for white supremacy because we won't check a woman. Which means we are putting ourselves in the position that white supremacy always try to keep us in. Notice how white supremacy always wants women to be in the leadership position. And because we take on this guilt, we allow women to lead where they have no business leading. Now, see, I'm not a person who's going to say women shouldn't lead because when you say certain things a certain way, people just cut off to it. No, I'm going to deal with the fact about can she lead? Is she willing to lead? When you deal with that part of stuff, most women just drop by the wayside anyway. Because to be a leader means you got to actually have responsibility. And most women don't want nothing to do with that word responsibility.
Well, they don't want to be, number one, they don't, well, I wouldn't say responsibility, but I would say they don't take responsibility for their actions, right? Because they'll feel like they have no problem taking responsibility for you, right? Running the household, right? Taking responsibility for their children. They don't have a problem with that. But what they will have a problem with is taking responsibility for bad decisions. And then on top of that, when you make a bad decision, because everybody does, you have to fix it. Because that's what a leader does. When a leader makes the wrong decision, you have to make it right. And you have to own up to, hey, that was my mistake. Women don't do that. Because when she makes mistakes, now it's the niggas in the community that got to fix it. And that's just not what leadership is.
And that's the reason that I don't see women as taking responsibility. What is the main complaint that I've noticed women make on social media? Paying for their own children.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest complaint that I see women make, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I do see a lot of stuff about women complaining about men, but a whole lot of it got to do with paying for their own children, not the neighbor's child, not the kid who go to school with their kid. They complain about paying for their own children.
I've never seen I've never seen a single father complaining about financially supporting their children ever. And on top of that, I never heard a single father talking about he's too tired and these kids are dragging him. Even if that's the truth, I've never seen it.
Okay. So now my thing is this. Why is she complaining about her doing for her own children?
Yeah,
That's why I say if somebody had to prove that black women love their kids, that's a bad assignment to take on right there. That's a bad assignment. And the thing is, it's just cultivating white supremacy at the end of the day. A white supremacist don't think black children are worthy to be taken care of. A white supremacist would think black kids are this unbearable burden that we need to just get on the internet and or tell anybody who's listening how terrible it is. It is a white supremacist who would take on the attitude that taking care of black children is a bad thing.
well, I mean, well, I think I don't think that's fair. I don't think they say taking care of their children is a bad thing. I just think they complain a lot because they can't take care of it. It's hard, right? It's hard, and I just never seen single black men on TikTok or YouTube, complaining about the bills they have to pay and stuff. You just don't see it.
I mean, there was a famous example that I used years ago. Sorry to you folks that well, y'all should be sorry that y'all didn't find my channel years ago because I had multiple channels. But there was a famous example, at least a somewhat famous example, about a woman who had 15 children. She was in a hotel room complaining, saying that somebody need to take care of these kids. Now, to me, that's just catching the black women in the raw. Her issue was that she had to take care of her own children. A lot of black women think in that very same way because black kids are not worthy of being taken care of.
That's
Just
true.
that simple at the end of the day.
That's true.
They complain about it because they don't see them as worthy of being taken care of. Yet
That's
they
true.
don't want the men to raise the children because they also agree with white supremacy that men shouldn't be the leaders of their own children. It
I mean, yeah.
is what it is.
I mean that's true because you gotta look at Aisha Curry, right? The elite class, black woman in a marriage, and outright said she doesn't want to have didn't want to have her kids. And just imagine, man, you watch that interview and you hear your mom said, I didn't want you. I didn't want to have you. That is cold blooded. That is
Well,
cold.
you know what? I'm aware of the Aisha thing. She gonna get a show, y'all. We got one coming up. It might be, yeah. I think it's tomorrow Friday. Yeah, we gonna get into the Aisha Curry.
That's cold blooded, bro. Where you can, and her kids are of age. Like some of her kids are teenagers.
Well, my thing is just let's let that rest till tomorrow,
Okay,
because
okay, okay, okay,
we gonna definitely
okay.
look at Aisha Curry. Okay,
Okay.
we gonna carefully look at Aisha Curry.
I'm roasting
Okay.
her. I'm roasting her like nobody's business.
But now Santana has come up, so let's let him get his word in. Santana, what's going on, my brother? You got the mic.
Good morning to y'all. Good morning to the chat. You know, I definitely think black men turning their back on the black community, the black kids, even the black woman is somewhat, participating in white supremacy. Because to be honest, you can't call yourself no leader if you don't look out for your own community. I really just wanted to come to have a conversation with y'all because I want to understand where that mindset comes from, where you feel like I'm not saying it's a bad thing to feel like you want to benefit from something by helping it, but is that your overall mindset of I have to be benefiting some way to be here for the kids or for the women? I was hearing men talking about these hoes, and it's like, okay, we all made bad decisions in our life, and I'm not gonna fault them for that. That don't mean that you gotta save them. I kept on hearing people talking about I don't give a fuck about these hoes. I don't care about these hoes. I was like, man, look past that, man. You supposed to be thinking about the kids, man. We supposed to be thinking about the future of the black community. Because again, these kids are the future of the black community. So you keep wanting our community to be the way it is, or do you want to make a change? Do you want to change the narrative? That was why that Boys in the Hood example was so crucial to me, because he had the future of the black community right there in front of him, and not deciding to do something to change the narrative always made me dislike that movie. Always.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this is not a continuation of yesterday's shows. It's well, I mean, I see how it can be, because I did say yesterday I was gonna do a follow up, but it's just a little bit different, and we keeping it real, and I'm bringing out points that weren't necessarily brought out yesterday. Now, number one, I'm gonna say it's problematic to not know what a community is. A community is a group of men. When men are eliminated, that quote unquote community doesn't exist anymore. Women and children simply participate in a community of men. So a man cannot turn his back on his community in the context that you said it in. Now, a man can become a traitor. That's true. But in the context you said it in, he can't. I can't turn my back on my community as a black man because the community is me. Only women can turn their back on it because they can participate in my community, and then they can decide to leave my community and go to another one. I can't turn my back on my own community unless I'm an outright traitor where I'm trying to hurt my people. So the thing is, first of all, the average black man don't know his actual position because you still think you're secondary when you're actually the primary. You have a superior position to women, period. And until somebody can prove otherwise, that's just what it is. Now, you taking it, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying black men, if you take a secondary position, that's your choice at the end of the day. I understand you may not have been raised properly, but once you're 18 and over, it's on you. You got to start making different decisions. So my children are fine. I don't have it. I can't turn my back on some kid. I didn't have one. I don't owe other people's children unless we're talking about some benefit from a community. And for a community, sure, I'll help another man with his family, just like I put an expectation on another man to help me with mine.
So what is the black man's responsibility in the community?
To help other men with their families where necessary.
Well, I wanna, because I do. Okay, so let's talk about race, responsibility to your race. All right, so I'm not going to use the word community. The only problem when you keep saying that we have a responsibility to black women, you keep forgetting that black women say they're no longer part of the black race. They're their own thing, right? Perfect Timing gave you evidence on when they talked about that when Aren't I a Woman back in the civil rights era, right? Black women today are told you that we're not the same. When Ice Cube went there and he asked them, "Are you telling me black women are not black people?" They said yes. We're not. We're separate. So I don't understand that if black women say that they're separate, I don't understand how we have a responsibility from a race standpoint.
I'm trying to figure out, when did black women ever say they weren't black?
Okay,
I just told you that. Told you.
Well, let me make this a little easy, man. Who cares what they say? Are they married to us?
Like, you gotta care. You gotta care.
No. Are they married to us?
No. But you gotta care.
There is an expectation for a man to take care of himself and his family. If you ain't married to me, you ain't my family.
No,
you ain't
but
married to my brother, so you ain't my brother's family. You ain't married to my homie, so you ain't my homie's family. You ain't married to my uncle, you ain't my uncle's family. Where we connected at? You got to show me a connection. Where are we connected? You ain't married to no man I deal with. No man is part of my community. You ain't married to any of them. How we connected?
Did she come from a black man?
Who cares where she came from? Does she live with the one?
Hell no.
Does she live with the one? Does she answer the one? Does she live in her father's home?
What if she just moved out?
She elected to be what she wanted to be. She up for grabs at that point. She could belong to any community she wants to. If she can get some man to marry her of that community.
It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, her racial identity still affects us as black people. So even if you want to say she's not part of the community, fine, you have but racial identity in America still matters. And on top of that, she's still having black babies and black boys. And look how underperforming black boys are. That stuff matters. That stuff, it matters.
I'm not gonna tell you it don't matter. It don't matter to the community if you ain't part of it.
But it matters to black men when they're applying for jobs. It matters to black men when they're walking down the street. It matters to black men when you're interacting with police. It matters. Racial identity matters.
No, I understand what you're saying, but who cares if some child who ain't never been part of my community can't never get a job?
I care because when my child interacts with that police, they're going to treat my child like that other child.
I understand that. At the end of the day, they ain't us, we ain't them. I'm not going to allow the police to treat my child in the wrong way. I'm going to teach my child how to operate with police, and I'm not going to let police treat my child. That's a battle between me and the police.
Well,
I get what you're saying, but when you mess with my kid, I'm on you.
Well, you're not. What if you're not there?
My child will already be trained on how to deal with police.
And so will mine. But at the end of the day, even when you're trained there, right? Everybody is in jeopardy from one police person having a bad day, right? That's just the bottom line.
No, that's a real thing, but we're also all in jeopardy if an asteroid hit the planet. At the end of the day, there's only so much control you have from an earthly realm.
Exactly, and so her, even though she's not a part of the quote unquote community, she's still part of the racial identity, and racial identity in America absolutely matters, and it dictates how other people of other races treat you. And because we don't have enough black businesses to hire us amongst each other, that stuff matters.
I understand everything matters to some point at the end of the day, but things have to be prioritized. If you're not in, it's not my job to care what happens to you. It's just like me and the Korea woman in Korea. I am too far removed to be worried about what she's doing on a regular basis. I'm just too far gone.
She doesn't look like you, so it doesn't matter.
No. There's a woman who looks something like me in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't my job to figure out what's going on with her. That's somebody else's job.
If she comes to America, it's going to matter to them.
And she marries a black man, then I can do something with that. If she ain't mine, she ain't mine. And she can't be mine if she's not connected to me.
World don't work like that. And
it really don't.
The world very much works that way.
No, it
Roger,
doesn't.
we gotta be real. We gotta stop acting like young black.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna give it to I got a new guest that I don't know. So I'm gonna give him the mic real quick, and then Kev 3905 then came up. So I'm gonna give Kevin the mic right after, then we can continue to flow with the conversation. But we got a new guest. I don't think nothing bad's coming. I think he's good. I got a good feeling about him, but we about to see. So I guess this is creator. You have the floor. Creator, you got the floor. Now, I said, I don't know you, so now if you don't say something, I'm just gonna put you off and
Hello.
assume you a troll.
Can you hear me? Hello.
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, man. I'm trying to figure out this newfangled technology.
Oh, okay. I was say don't get caught up man, with a bad name for no reason now.
Oh man. Okay, so we talking about the women. Just real quick. First off, great show. Thank you for welcoming me up on the stage, and shouts out to all the speakers. So we talking about our women, and I think Roger said it correctly. It don't matter. Like we the men, we set the tone, we set everything. So I don't care what my woman says. It's like my child telling me, "But daddy, the sky is green." And you care, you actually care about what they telling you. This is a child, they don't know nothing. Only everything that they're going to learn is from the legacy that you built, right? They going, it's a plan in action. So when we as the men, right, have a plan, A to Z plan, and the key is to exit that. Is don't mean perfection. What it means is there's a plan and we're executing plan A to Z. Who don't want a winner? Who don't want to get excited and get behind their men? But most women who gonna talk that crap, and we're gonna say that small percentage of women, by the way, that's not all 20 plus million of the women talking that crazy stuff. It's a percentage of women. So never get caught on the percentage of crazy women and what they talking about, or crazy men, or crazy people at all. Remember, we are a percentage of this population in this country and in this world, and degeneracy that's being pumped is not like the major of us, right? We could go to the suckage of all the races or all the cultures, right? And we can highlight that. That is not what's indicative of the culture. That's indicative of the behaviors of subculture, which all subcultures behave the same way. But for some reason, our subculture is highlighted it's demonized, where everybody else's subculture, be it Asian, white, Mexican, whatever, for some reason it's freaking highlighted. You understand? It's crazy. They look at these fake gangsters and things of that nature, and they are literally praised even by our culture. So when the men move in a certain direction, the women and the children have no other way but to just walk right behind them. Some gonna get distracted. It's like walking a dog. They're gonna get distracted. But what do? You hold that leash and you keep walking, right? Because I got a plan. This plan don't involve what you talking about. Why? Because you don't even know what the plan is before you can make a comment. You're looking for perfection in the indoctrination that you've already been given. So you already have this notion of what's supposed to be perfect, what's supposed to be order, what's supposed to be. When really, you don't really know what's supposed to be. Ain't nobody been on this earth and told us, we black people that should be free right now, where we should be. These people can't even get off the planet without using fossil fuel. So how can I trust a person who you know what I'm saying, who got all the knowledge to get off this planet without fossil fuel, but still can't get off this planet without fossil fuel? So yeah, don't worry about what your women talking about, man. It's like worrying about your wife. You just leave and keep going. And if it's in her best interest or your best interest to have them people in your life, and you
All
moving
right,
with
we
purpose and
got
a
to slow it
plan,
down. We got
she
that's
gonna follow.
we beyond that 2 minutes now. You obviously are a person who's been watching the show for a while. At least I believe you've watched an episode too. So we gotta 2 minute opening statements, y'all. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. But appreciate you. And yes, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. All right, we gotta let Kevin 3905 get in. So you got it, my brother. Kevin 3905, are you here? He's muted up. Maybe he's dealing with something right now. Uh, he's in the bathroom, so when he when he get out the bathroom, he can jump in when he want to, y'all. So now, Santana, you were about to make some kind of point. What you want to get off the chest, brother? Go ahead.
Kevin is in the bathroom with a black woman, y'all.
Well, it might go well. He might be a little white.
So when you talk all this crap about black women, just know he was just in the bathroom with her.
Santana, you on mute.
To be honest, whether a black woman is married or not, she's still a part of the black community. I don't understand the difference. Like I said, she came from a black man. I'm not caping for no hoes. I'm not caping for none of that. But at the end of the day, we gotta understand that they carry the future of our community, and we gotta treat them as such.
Okay, so basically, you want a community with no standard at all, and that's basically what you just said, whether you realize it or not. Not gonna work for me.
As far as I'm concerned,
No.
men
Hold
raise
on.
them.
Kevin just came back in, so I'm going to let him get the mic. But you literally just said you don't want a community with a standard, and you have a right to feel that way. I'm not even trying to dog you for that, but I do want to call stuff out about what's actually being said. There is no standard based on what you just said. But Kevin 3905, you got the floor, my brother.
Believe it.
What's up? What's up, fellas? What's up, fellas? One of the issues we're having is, man, that men and their guilt for uh, these women, they feel responsible for these women, even though these women are rebelling. They feel responsible for these children, even though these children were raised to be rebellious. Man, let me tell you something, man. My children are functional, well educated, well mannered, and they're going forward in life. They ain't got nothing in common with the average. Well, I ain't gonna say the average. They ain't got nothing in common with these rebellious thugs on the street, bro. They don't even live in the same neighborhoods. They don't even think the same way. They don't even do the same things. They are not the same people, man. You're gonna have of black people, man. All black people ain't the same. Even white people operate like that. Even they recognize the trailer park trash from the rest of them. Bro, everybody can go. I don't care what your skin color is. You have to. It's just like being on a sports team, on a football team, on a basketball team. You got to make cuts. You got to make cuts. Everybody don't make the roster. You just don't, man. You guys don't have to get comfortable with that. That's what leadership is. Everybody don't make the team. Everybody don't make the cut. Everybody don't get the job. Man, cut these people loose that ain't doing right. Now I'm gonna land my plane right there.
You think when a white man see you, he see you as any different from a nigga in the hood?
But why would you care?
Yes, of course.
Why you care why a white man sees you?
Of course. Well, I'm gonna answer that directly. Yeah, he sees me as different because I present myself differently.
Now,
I get better results than a nigga in the hood.
Well, but I want Santana to even think about this. Why do you care how a white man sees you? Because there should be some type of context there. Why would you care how a white man sees you?
No, he brung up the example.
No. I'm asking you this question for myself. Why would you care how a white man sees you?
I wouldn't, but again, he brung up the example of separating the hunkies, the trailer trash from
No. I get you. I care how a white man sees me if he can put money in my pocket. The same way I care how a black person see me if they can put money in my pocket. I care how a customer sees me.
I brought up the example of how white people see other white people.
So we should care to a degree how everybody sees us. Because perception, unfortunately, is a reality. And a lot of that reality should be purposeful. So if you moving like everybody on here saying, like my man's raised his kids, he moving with purpose. Like he said, he don't care, but it would make me proud to know that because he's moving that way, it's going to make me look good, even though maybe I may not be moving in the same way that upgrades our value as a people. Value ain't got nothing to do with money. It just is perceived. It's a perceived value. It's an edge on if I'm going to hurry up and do business with you, or hurry up and want our kids to connect, or whatever it is. I'm seeing value in your space. I can win with you, right? And they know they can win with us, but they don't acknowledge that value. So yes, how we sing to a degree is important, but it got to be purposeful. Meaning, we love to be seen with the gold teeth and the gold diamonds and the 20-inch rims. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's a small percentage of our community, but let's step it up a bit. What about the suit and the tie? I need to be seen a certain way. I need to talk a certain way, right? Again, that's their construct. That's this. We basing everything off of how we want them. Again, we want to be seen a certain way, but you want to be seen as you. So if you am seen as that hood nigga, I'm still seen as a valuable individual. Ooh, that hood nigga probably got good credit. He probably got real estate. He probably know he's probably on his shit, raising his kids, taking care of his wife. Yeah, perception is a thing, and we need that within our community.
All right. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Look, the one thing I cannot control is how somebody chooses to see me. The one thing I do have control over is how I see myself. Now, how I present myself, other people may agree with me, but that's up to them. I ain't finna be worried about it. That's real talk. Now, there's real things that go on. And I'm not saying you never take perception into accountability for certain choices that you're gonna make. What I'm saying is there's a reality, man. There is a reality when black men feel guilty about stuff that we ain't got nothing to do with. You are participating in white supremacy.
Man,
White
there's
supremacy goal is to make sure that black men are not leaders, and that we are so busy dealing with nonsense that we do not do the things that help to advance us. That is what white supremacy depends upon. And every black man walking around with this black male guilt, you are literally participating in it. What do black men do on a regular basis, just like white supremacy promotes? Promote the black woman. She is the most important piece. She has to be seen in a certain light. Now, there's nothing wrong with promoting black women to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, if you promote them where they are the leaders, and I'm not talking about by title, I'm talking about by how we're operating. If she does a thing or demand a thing and I'm responding to what she wants on a regular basis, no matter what my title is, she my leader. If I'm always willing to serve her, no matter what she wants done, if I'm always willing to make sure she good, no matter what the problem is, no matter how it affects me, and what negative thing or happen, or whatever the case is, she my leader at the end of the day. Now, it's one thing to serve people you lead. It's another thing for a person to be your leader. And when you have black male guilt, you are not being the leader. You are being a servant. Because you're worried about somebody who ain't trying to participate in what you got going on. You can do the
Tell these
same
guys.
thing when you change the color of a person. You can be it's black people that we call coons who do it right now. They worried about how white people feel about them, and that's it. They care nothing about black people like that. They care about how white people feel about them. And they'll say anything against other black people as long as it's gonna please that white man or that white woman.
Well, as far as black men concerned, black woman is God. They
Then you
brought
a
us in this.
problem.
They brought us in this world. They took care of us.
See,
see,
that didn't happen to me. My daddy
that's
brought
the
me into the
problem.
world.
That's the
No, no,
problem.
no, no, no. Your mother, no, your mother decides if you come in this world.
No. My daddy brought me into the world. I'm talking about the facts. The facts is my daddy have sperm that live. My daddy can create life. My
Hey, let
mother
me
can
tell you.
simply incubate a life that my father creates.
Let me tell you this crazy stat from 1973. Since 1973, since abortion was legalized, black women have deleted over 40. Have over.
I've heard the stat. And
Right.
at the end of
Yeah,
the day, the fact is my daddy decided to where he wanted to put his seed that has life. My mother cannot give me life. She can
Okay.
only incubate the life that my father gave to her.
Roger, I understand that one, but I'm saying the fact that you're sitting here talking right now, that is because of your mother.
No. It's because of my father.
Oh my
Because
God.
if my father wants to have a child, he will get a woman that's willing to cooperate with him to have the child.
Or women.
This is crazy.
Santana, Santana,
Or women. He can impregnate more than one
Santana.
woman.
Santana, you're worshiping women, bro. This is part of the issue we have with communicating with you. You place a woman before yourself. You place a woman before the community, bro. What you don't understand is women were placed on this earth to be a helpmate to their husbands. They are supposed to support their husbands. But what they have done is taught the men to help them. And your thought process is you're here to help a woman. You're here to uplift a woman. A woman is first place. No, that is backward.
And real quick, since you just said that, what was our position during slavery? What was the woman in charge of the men, or was the men in charge of the women?
The women were placed in charge of a man on
You
purpose.
are literally participating in white supremacy. Black
Literally.
male guilt gets you nothing but white supremacy. And the
You
thing
were
is,
taught to believe you you were taught to believe what you just said, that you are only here and you only exist because of a woman, when it's literally the other way around.
Could your mother abort you?
my mother
Yeah,
has
she could.
nothing to. My mother don't even get something to abort unless my daddy approves it first.
Exactly.
Not in this country.
No. It is in this country. That's over the world. My mother has nothing to abort if my father don't even give her something to abort.
No
My
woman could
father
get
carries
pregnant
life.
without a
She
man.
does not.
That's right.
What is with
Your
these
mother does
niggas?
not create life. She just incubates it. Your
She gives you
father
life.
creates life.
She
No,
gives
she
you
does
life.
not.
You
Your
come out of her womb.
father.
You
Y'all
come out of
having
her
a
womb.
so it's an oxymoron. It's crazy
No,
because it
it's
takes.
not an oxymoron. You're a person who don't understand the science
Hold
that
on,
goes
brother. Hold on,
beyond
brother.
creating a
I'm not.
life. You just don't
So
understand it, bro.
hold on. So listen. It take two. So you can argue it's the man and be proud of that.
No,
You can
brother.
argue it's the woman, just like
Brother,
arguing your
one
religion.
carries life, the other simply does not.
This
Why
weak.
is that so
Okay,
hard?
but you
That's a
need it don't.
scientific
But
fact
again, if
that we
that
don't have
man
to
don't
ask about.
impregnate a woman, he can't have nothing. If
Listen
she
to me,
don't get
brother.
impregnated by that man,
Brother. Who
she don't
carries
have
life?
nothing.
Who carries life, brother?
Who
The
gives life?
woman carries life, but
That's
it
what
ain't
we
nothing
talking
until
The
that
about.
person
spark.
who
Hold on.
carries it. You
Listen,
can't give
there's
That's
a spark.
what you don't
that's
carry.
cap. You
Listen,
can't
brother,
have
it's nothing
no
to be
You
upset
cannot
about. It's okay. You can
give
feel how
what
you
you do
feel
not
without getting
carry.
upset about it. So without
No,
that spark
hold
from
on.
both
No,
of
no,
them,
because we gonna move off this because it's too asinine to take up too much time in the show, brother. I can't give you something that ain't in my pocket. How can I give you something I ain't got myself?
that go both ways.
No, it don't
No,
go
it
both
doesn't.
ways. If I'm
It go
asking
both
you for
ways, bro.
something, it matters
Your
that you if you
ego,
can give it to
your
me or not.
ego,
If I'm
and
not
your for
asking you, it
whatever
don't.
reason got you
Brother,
thinking
it's
this
over with.
certain way.
It's
When you
over.
get
We're
your
not gonna
ego out
argue.
the
We're
way,
not gonna
and
argue
we go to
something that you should have
science,
learned in science class somewhere in grammar school.
bro.
We're
No,
not gonna do
Raj,
that.
Raj, we
Listen
understand your
We're
again. You
point.
not
can't like.
going to argue
Don't try to
something,
deflate your
brother.
audience by saying
I
that
went
their
through a
education is
bad school
meaningless.
system, and I learned
There we
this.
go. Now you joning.
Anything I learned in a
Now you
bad
go to
school
joning.
system,
Let's just stay with the facts, bro. You keep your facts. I keep mine.
Santana, anything I learned in a
That's not
poor school
Santana.
system,
You ain't gotta
That's
I
not
run me to
do
Santana.
expect
Santana. It's
other
me and
people to
you.
know, and it's not the point of the show. So it's over. The point of the show is about participating in white supremacy, which you are showing that you like the idea of black men participating in white supremacy. Because at the end of the day, every group of men leads their women. You are arguing that black women should lead black men.
Every group of men protects their women and keeps
They
their women
protect
in a
the
place.
women they
Hold on,
lead.
they
They
women and
protect
they
the
children.
women
See,
they
that tell me
lead.
you as a leader how you lead.
They
Every
protect
man's
the
is to
women they
protect and
lead.
provide.
No.
Protect
They do that for the women they
and
lead.
provide.
Don't leaders protect and provide?
Protect and provide. See,
For
you putting
who?
that
For who?
pressure
Who are you gonna
of
who do you
leadership.
protect and
You see what
provide
I'm
for?
saying? And what that look
Who t-
like, and he the man. You can't make no motherfucker be a leader, bro. You can't
Bro,
make.
I
You can't. You can't.
Santana,
You
Santana,
can't.
listen, because you just making up your own
Roger,
argument
Roger,
in your
Roger.
own
That
head.
Roger.
No.
Roger,
I'm
that
not
is
going to
too.
argue with you right now.
No,
You're
Roger,
making
that
up
is
stuff
too.
in your own head.
You
You're
can't
gonna
Wait,
make
listen.
Roger.
a
You're
person
going
a
to
leader if they
listen to
not,
this,
bro.
or you're going to be removed from the panel. We're not. You just making up stuff in your own head, brother.
No,
You
wait,
try to
Leaders,
Roger.
threaten me, bro.
Roger,
leaders.
that's two
You're
No,
a
I'm
different
not.
threat.
people.
I'm not. I'm being nice. Don't make me be different. I ain't
Nice.
gonna keep
You
saying
know
the
what?
same thing.
Good luck, brothers. Good
A
luck.
leader protects and provide for theirs. That's what leaders do. That means you belong to them. The leaders, when they give something to somebody who does not belong to them, that is called charity. There's a people, they town was ravaged by a tornado. You don't even live there. You send some money through the Red Cross or some other organization. That's charity. You ain't got nothing to do with that town. You just feel, hey, let me help them people out since they went through something bad. You ain't telling them people what to do. You ain't telling them people how to live. You ain't telling them how to rebuild nothing. You're not leading them. That's
Qu-
charity.
Quick
You
thing, Roger.
you lead the people you have a relationship with. You protect and provide for yours.
Right. Quick thing, Roger. Quick thing. Actually, that's two different people because you keep he's saying something and you saying you thinking that's me. Well, it's Creator and it's Santana because I don't know. It's like you
Okay, well,
saying
whoever it was, I don't mind everybody getting a chance to talk, but we not gonna stop me from talking. The one thing we
yeah, that's
not
not
gonna
me
do,
though.
I'm not. I'm saying I hear you. I don't want to blame you. I'm just saying from a general context, y'all. I told y'all I grew up in a big family. I had to wait a long time to be able to talk. So what I know I'm not gonna do as an adult is have a conversation where people won't allow me to talk. I let everybody talk, but I'm definitely gonna get mine in, and that's real.
Respect.
That's real talk right there. So
Respect.
let Jado get the flow, and then we gonna flow into more conversation. Go ahead, Jado.
Hey, what's up, Roger? What's up, fellas on the panel? Everybody in chat, replay game. Hey, man, I know we've heard the analogy, like, a fish doesn't know that it's in water. It's born in water, it lives in water, it's just in water. That's the environment that it grew up in. And a lot of black men we grew up under white supremacy or the existence of white supremacy. If you guys have another name for it, whatever name you like to name it, fine. We grew up under it. And I think a lot of times we don't even realize we're just fish in water. Like it's like natural to us. And a lot of times, man, we're not able to break free of it, man. And I look at my life, man. I grew up under a single mother, and my mama was like God. She was like God, God-like in a sense. At least I thought as a child. Okay, but she made the decisions. What said go. If I did something wrong, she would be the one to punish me. She the one that cooked up the meal. She did. It was like all of that. So I can't. And I know I'm not just speaking for myself, man. But somehow I was able to. I think it was just. I think God just put it in me, put it in my heart, in my brain, or whatever, to see that something is not right, and I was able to break free, and it may be with the help of other men, or a combination of the help of other men and just my natural thing. But man, I think a lot of stuff, man, uh, we're fighting against nature and the environment too. I think, man, because it's a lot of times, man. Like I just think the bond that children have with their mother, man, it's something I don't know, man. It's something different, man. I just recall me doing something with my daughter, and I'm speaking on my daughter, female, but I would imagine this would help. I was teaching her something, and I got stern with her. Not crazy, I just got stern with her, and she started crying. And you know who she ran to immediately? And who was very well ready to console her. And my ex-wife was like, "Why you talking to her like that?" And it was not anything crazy, man. And at that moment, she didn't care what daddy was talking about. It was about mama, man. So I don't know, man. I know, hey, we should consciously fight against this stuff, man. But a lot of this stuff, I think, is like a lot of it. I think is kind of natural, man. Like I think it's. And I'm kind of rambling right now.
Well,
I think it's kind of.
I was gonna
Go
stop you
ahead.
because you way over that 2 minutes. But
Gotcha,
but I,
Rod.
but I
Gotcha.
wanted you to go with the story wherever you was going. But I didn't want to disrupt the story because I thought it could be important. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Creator get in because he was trying to get in when I was doing my thing because I thought it was Santana, but it wasn't. And this is the thing, y'all. When it comes down to it, we do things and our subconscious rules us. You done had all types of seeds planted in your subconscious since you were born, more than likely if you was raised in America. You've been anti-black men your whole life for most folks. And that's just real talk because it was in public education.
I
It was
agree.
on the TV. It was in the movies. It was in the books. It was in the magazines. Basically, everything that has been published through any type of media was white supremacy approved. Even content creators to this day who get online and say a bunch of stuff, most of them white supremacists too. They ain't even realize it, and that's what the thing is. Most people have yet to accept that white supremacy is an ideology that anybody can participate in. So at the end of the day, you got to make a decision as an adult. Are you going to continue to participate or not? What is the strategy that white supremacists have used to try to keep Black America in check? Put the women as the leaders, have them get what they want, and not have to be responsible for decisions they make. And at the end of the day, Black men, you automatically support that when you are affected by Black male guilt because you are saying some woman didn't get what she's supposed to have, so let me change her outcome. She got exactly what she deserved, and you tripping. If she don't want to take her kids are supposed to be failures. If she don't want to pay her rent, she's supposed to be evicted. If she don't want to get some type of training so she can have a job, she's supposed to be jobless. But we sit here and we look at Black women in a bad state and say, no, I need to give them a better outcome. Why? She ain't attached to no man you know. A community
No,
is men.
they'll say,
She ain't your brother's wife. She ain't your cousin wife. She ain't your homie wife. She ain't your uncle wife. How's she connected to you? She has none. Why do you choose to be responsible for people who are not connected to you? It's one thing to give charity, which I do encourage charity here and there, but it's different to take on responsibility for people you are not connected to. Now, Kevin 3905, go ahead and say what you was about to say.
oh,
Then I'm
I
gonna
was just
get
gonna say
inspired
real
2D.
quick.
Go ahead.
They'll say she a failure because some nigga didn't do something for her. Even though she got 5 kids from 6 different niggas, it's some nigga fault that she a failure. It's always a man's fault because she's God. She produced us and all this other. It's goddess. It's woman goddess worship, and it's asinine and backward. That's it. I ain't gonna go too far. That's it.
Okay, creator, go ahead because you was trying to get something in that I'm gonna get inspired true broadcast and then perfect timing. Who done came up? Go ahead, my brother.
No, you spitting game, man. I like to at least push the other side, right? So we can see. So if I push the other side, we got to argue the other side, even if the other side is not there. So we have to be able to be
Right.
prepared.
No. That's all good over here.
You
That's
get what I'm
all good
saying?
over here.
You gotta like, okay, if somebody don't believe in this or what, okay, this is how they come. And they may not say it, they may say it in the chat or whatnot, but it's up to us to have that broad conversation, challenge our own thought. That's why I don't believe too much of anything. I take statistics for the most part with a grain of salt. I think what's around us is evidence of everything that we need to know, what we need to see. What you said to a degree, I never even really thought of that concept, to be honest. I'm an OG. That everything that you're doing right now is, white supremacy to a degree because you in that construct. Everything that you've been taught, everything you doing, aspired for, even as rappers, is crazy. You know what I mean? That boy, they really, and anything we do is supporting that. So if we dig into their statistics and their way of doing things, then we supporting the very thing that they created. So they have the right to sit back and say whatever they want to, right? We named y'all. We call y'all black or call y'all Negroes or call you African American or call you whatever we want to call you. Do you understand? and
Did we lose him?
He cut out. Yeah, he cut out for a second. So, Inspired Truth Broadcast, you can jump in right after me. Let me say this real quick.
yeah, I think
His life matters. Y'all,
my phone
can somebody
I
time
think
out His Life Matters? Now, His Life
my
Matters. You
phone
welcome to
rings
be
and it
here,
cut off or
but I
something.
don't like anything that looks like somebody spamming the channel. If you gonna talk in the chat, you
Hello?
gonna talk in complete sentences. But I don't want people just spamming my chat with stuff. If you're gonna say something in the chat, say it with a complete sentence, bro. Don't just be saying 3 words and then go to the next thing. Like, use sentences. This is a channel for intelligent people. Dummies are welcome. I don't want nobody who don't think they intelligent to think they not welcome. I welcome dummies too. But this is a channel for intelligent people, and I think we should comport ourselves a certain way. And remember, even if you're in the chat, we are in public. So let's act like it, y'all. Let's act like we in public. Okay. Creator, are you back? Was that you saying something? Are you back? Okay, go ahead, Inspired You Broadcast. Get in.
All right, all right. Am I
Yes,
coming in
sir.
loud and clear?
I think when the phone rang, it cuts off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that does happen. If you want to finish expressing your point real quick, you can, because I'm trying to get these other 2 guys in. Okay.
Yes, sir. I will let them come on in, and then just as fair, let them come on in, and I'll come back, man. I appreciate the grace, Roger.
No problem. No problem. Okay, go ahead, Inspired Truth.
All right. So if you can hear me, can you let me know? Is it coming in clear?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, all right. Peace to you, brothers in the chat. Peace to y'all on the panel. That was really good last yesterday with everything that went through kind of like smoothly on the folk with the panel. Everybody was kind of like good and respectful in a good way. I like appreciate that. But anyhow, so let me get straight to it. Like, this is not against nature. What we're trying to do is actually pro nature. The interference, we have something that's interfering with nature, and that's where the guilt comes in. Like, the guilt is an obstruction for the natural order, like the actual path that things are supposed to take in terms of black male leadership and actually having a functional community. It's gets interrupted with the social construct that we're dealing with in our current system. And guilt is like another tool to kind of put
I
a
agree.
resistance in between
I can't even
the
argue with nothing you were saying,
natural
bro. For real, for real.
the natural flowing current of progress in our community. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. I look at just that guilt as an obstruction, kind of a acquiescence to white supremacy, and that's how we end up participating in it without participating in it actively.
So it's psychological without even knowing it.
All right.
Yep.
Now let me say, shout out to Narratives and Dialogues. Okay, he said I took his wrench, brother. I lost another channel. You supposed to be paying enough attention. You supposed to know that, brother. And you talking about I'm a day one. Where you been? I said in July, everybody who's supposed to have a wrench, say something so I can get your wrenches. You get your wrenches back. See, Narratives Dial, you try to put me on blast in the chat. You tripping, brother. You tripping. You ain't show up and get your wrench when I was handing out the wrench. Don't blame me because you refused to show up and get your wrench, my brother. Don't blame me. That ain't how it went. That ain't how it went at all. But perfect timing. You got the flow, and I got you, brother. I got you.
Salute. Good morning. Good morning. Great topic as a continuation part 2 from yesterday. I do agree. When you say the black men guilt, and I was listening earlier, I rewinded back, I watched the videos, I listened to what you said earlier, and I came up to tease you. I'm like, it sounds like Roger got that Mei Ling waiting in the wings, man. I'm like, I've been trying to coax my brother for a minute, man. It sounds like he finally came. But then as I listen more, it's not specific to the BW, right? Because when you say this ideology can be personified by anyone, then it's not really fair for me to just, say that only it's more about the intellect or the mentality of the men, right? And that's what I like about the 5.0 Black Manosphere, is that we don't focus so much on the BW. This conversation more is about focusing on the Black men and your mentality and you're freeing yourself of the current, oppression or station. Like in the chat, I said when Jado was speaking, I think he coined it perfectly when he said a fish in water or a fish out of water. I put in the chat when Morpheus said to Neo, do you think that's air that you are breathing? And how difficult it was for Neo, even though he was the chosen one, to get to that point. Even biblically, it's like a lot of us along that path, we get lost. Like Moses, 40 years just going in a circle. So a lot of us are in this transitional phase and still living in this water. It's kind of difficult, even in biblical times, to make your way out. So Roger phrases it a lot of times like a simple thing to do, but I think the brothers on the panel, and I pray the brothers in the chat are understanding it's not a very easy thing to do, even for Neo, who was the chosen one. He needed someone to guide him, which is why I believe, we've been placed in these positions to help individuals guide themselves to be able to understand is that air that you're actually breathing. You're actually in water. And I know we deal with that a lot of times on the panel. So this is a great conversation. I just want to come up and pick on my brother and tell him, Ling is waiting for you, brother, man, because I don't want you to be a white supremacist.
I appreciate that, brother. I do appreciate that.
Can I get in?
Go ahead, brother.
I don't know. Hey, Inspired Truth, I don't know if you were speaking in response to what I said, and maybe I didn't articulate myself as well. When I was talking about the attachment to our mothers, man. And that's all I'm acknowledging, that nature part. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. Like, we have to, I think we associate Black women as a whole with the love or whatever we got from our mother, what we perceived as love from our mothers, man. And we attach that to all Black women. I think we have that. And I think we have to kind of break free of that. So that's what I'm talking. I'm not saying that it's natural for a woman to be. I mean, I think I've been up here enough to say that that's not my point of view. And maybe you weren't saying that, but I just wanted to address that.
Man, I think we're all in agreement with you, brother. They teach us to worship our mothers because every woman is potentially a mother. So your sister is going to be a mother. Your auntie is going to be a mother. Your niece is going to be a mother. Your little cousin is going to be a mother. And if the mothers are never wrong, then in association, women are never wrong, bro.
That's true, like from a feminist perspective, but for Black men, I think it's even deeper because we were property. So when Jado is saying that, you got to understand, like when you have property, or I don't want to relate it back to like another type of animal because people get upset at me, but just imagine when you have property and you're an owner and you have someone else facilitate the manifestation of that property. The BW was the facilitator. Right. And so when we talk about being in water, the water is this ownership relationship, subservient labor relationship that we have with the BW, because she was put in service. This is what Roger is saying. She is put in service of the the white supremacy model as the overseer of his property. Right. So she never dealt with us like we were human, like we were men, like we needed love or respect or any of those things. No, she was just fulfilling her purpose. To this day, she is facilitating the fact that we are property and labor, and that's her function. So I think that's what he's getting at. When you deal with them, you already in white supremacy. I don't care how you try to coax it and try to put it in. She is facilitating their order. So when I've said this many times to Roger, I don't even know if I'll say it again, but I don't even deal with brothers who deal with women like that because it's pervasive. You know what I'm saying? I am not part of white supremacy. I'm not supporting it. So I don't even have friends that are associated with women who are part of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really is. We come from being property. And our relationship is not a normal, typical relationship with this individual. That's part of the understanding and freeing ourselves.
Now let me say this to y'all. Now, I ain't never made it no secret that I love Black women. But just because I love you, don't mean you my God. You know what I'm saying? I do believe in a God. Black women ain't it. It's as simple as that. I'm going to always love them, but that doesn't mean I'm going to agree with them. And any woman who cannot agree with me, she should only have certain level of access to me, if any. And for most, it would be they ain't gonna have no access at all. When it comes down to it, I want black women to win, but I don't care about one who chooses to lose. So if you're not with us, you ain't winning to me no way. So I ain't worried about you. And when it comes down to it, if you don't pick us, I respect that you an adult. You ain't got to pick us, but I ain't got to care about what happens after you didn't pick us either. At the end of the day, as a woman, you are responsible for your own life. I don't feel bad about any woman feeling that anything who ain't one of us. Well, if my friend tell me we need to do something because his wife is having an issue, I'm down. If my uncle say my wife having an issue, I need X, Y, and Z done, I'm down. Women who don't have a husband, women who don't have at least some man, at least protecting her for the moment, which we'll call a boyfriend or a fiance, at least he's vouching for her at that moment. If he can't tell me she need my help, I don't want to hear it. I don't want no woman coming to me with her problem. I want her to talk to her man about her problem. And I want to respect other men. And
But
guess
your,
what? As
but
a
Roger,
man, it is
Right.
only so close I should be to your woman.
but Roger, your mama black.
My mama had a husband. If some bad happened to my mama,
You know, your mama black. You ain't gonna help. You know, this is what I mean by the ownership. Do y'all understand the ownership and the guilt trip, the pimping that's involved with that statement? Roger just said something very clear that makes logical sense in what they would respond. But your mama black, Roger.
That's the
So
kind of
here's
stuff they say when they don't have a logical argument.
No, they
That's
trying
when
to.
they lose it. That's
No,
when they lose it.
no, it's a
Uh-huh.
conditioning. It's conditioning. They're trying to. It's psychological, and they want to see if Roger is conditioned. And a lot of black brothers, even in the chat, have that conditioning. Roger, your mama is black. You right. What you need, ma'am? How can I help you out? You know, right back to that conditioning, right?
Right?
Yeah, well, a big part of nature is still dealing with the natural consequences. Then a lot of times we'll get kind of coaxed into protecting women from the natural consequences of their own
Yes.
action.
Cause your mama black.
Yes. Yeah. We the original Manchurian candidates, just like he said. Your mama black. What you need, ma'am?
okay.
Oh,
Now I'm gonna ask y'all something realistically. If you are
Okay.
protecting some woman who just out here on her own. Now she live in America. She can get a job like you. She can go to the military like you. She can go to college or trade school like you. She can start a business like you. And she's struggling for some reason. And she ain't got no husband.
Your mama black.
Seriously, why are we supposed to care? Because she's not connected to you. Why would I care that you have and you know what, Kevin, shout out to you, because they will say your mama black. My mama can get married just like any other woman can get married.
That's right.
What's stopping them from being married to some man that's gonna help them, that's gonna protect them and provide for them? All of them can do that in this country. If you're an able-bodied woman with an able mind, all of them can do that. So if she don't elect to be under some man's leadership, why am I supposed to care?
Hey, Raj, I try to big up you, salute you, man, because you preaching a good word, bro. And I love the concept behind when we talking about stuff and I don't want to say theory, but I talk about the practicality of it, man. And a lot of time I've heard people will bring up certain stories or hypothetical stories about helping women and stuff like that, and a lot of us crumble still. We talk a good game. Yeah, man. And it's much easier if it's a stranger. But let's say she ain't married to a black man that you know or something like that. Let's say maybe she knows a black man that you know that you're fond of. Like, oh, that's my dude, right? That's my guy, that's my buddy right there, my dog, or whatever. A lot of times, man, we'll fold up like a lawn chair, bro, and help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying. All I try to do is get people to really dig deep down into their psyche and understand. You know what I'm saying? Like what we're doing and why we're doing it. That's all. And when I pose these questions, man, like I'm definitely ain't trying to cape for no broads, but I understand like there's some vulnerabilities with a lot of us, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I even bring up this stuff.
Well,
The
I'm
real
gonna say
reason
this
why
real
that's
quick. Let me get this
go
in
ahead.
real quick, and then you got it next, Kevin. Uh,
Okay.
I've had some interesting situations that happen, time to time. I remember kicking it somewhere. I'm with friends, a young lady who's married to one of my homies. She said something to me about why do I treat her a certain way? Because I don't spend a lot of time around them. Because me and him been good since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? He grown man doing all kinds of stuff, but he married her. So I always treated her like an extra way when I'm around them. And she's addressed that to me. Now maybe she was concerned or something, who knows? But she was on some, why you treat me the way you treat me? I said, you because you connected to my man. You his wife. I said, as long as you his wife, I'm gonna give you the utmost respect. But do understand, the day he say F you, so did I. That's how that worked. I ain't got nothing to do with our relationship. All I know is he picked you. So as long as you in that position, you get a certain level of treatment. But the day he say F you, so did I. You don't have to check with me. When he said it, I said it too. It is what it is. Is that me being mean? Because women will say, "Oh, that's being mean." No, no, no. I'm being in the position I'm supposed to be in. There is only so close I should get to another man's wife. Period. And if it ain't through his approval, I ain't trying to do it. But Kevin, go ahead and say what you want to say. Then I'm gonna get in because somebody just came up. Tunnel Runner came up.
Okay.
We'll get in after you. Go ahead.
Oh, the answer what Jado was questioning was like, why do guys fold? Because the truth of it is, bro, most of us are not willing to have this conversation with our own mothers that, hey, you know what? There were some things that you didn't teach me correctly. There's some ways that you handled me that you shouldn't have been handling me. And there were some things that I didn't learn that I should have learned when I was under your tutelage. We won't do that. And if you won't correct your mother as an adult, grown man, you're going to be hesitant to correct other women.
That's a good point.
It's a good point.
I know I've
Um,
had to do that with my mother. But
It's just the
Tunnel
truth.
Runner has come up. So Tunnel Runner, you got the flow.
And okay, am I coming through clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say the problem is that see your wife you have control of. Your mother and your sisters, you might feel a little guilty because they're connected to you, but you don't have control over your sisters or your mother until you become a man. And then when you become a man, then you can do, but they don't have to listen to you because of their positioning. But any other women, you should be in control of because they're in your life, and now your wife and your children and any other women should come under your tutelage. But I can understand the problem is that we as boys trying to control our sisters and trying to control our mother is a very difficult task, sometimes impossible task to control your mother and your sisters. So you have to control the people that you can control, and then that way, the people that you can control, they have to give you some respect, and then you can do your duties as a man. But any other people, I mean, like I say, if you don't have control, then you cannot be responsible for these people that you cannot don't have control of, and that are not going to listen to you and assist you in your life.
we want that control, and we as men, I think that's the main thing, especially in the black community, because we've been um, abused, just for lack of a better word, for so long. I think it's just easy for every community and everything to shit on us, right? Because they don't really have nobody that's gonna come out truthfully and defend it. It's like the Tate brothers and or the Tate twin or them twin Hodges
No,
twins and
we,
the
we don't
Tates.
mention other content creators over here. I know you
Well,
ain't
I'm just
know. It's
saying
all
just how they
good,
talking
but
shit. That's what I'm talking about.
no,
You know what I
no,
mean?
I
How
understand that. But I,
my
I don't promote
apologies.
other
No
content creators
disrespect to
because
that, but from there here we'll move on that from here on out. But my point
no,
is
you
that
didn't say it now. It's cool. I'm just letting you know that for the future.
I
No,
got you.
don't
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Yeah. But just speaking on how that's my point, content creators, whatever the content creator, feel like black plight is is profitable for them. Like this is acceptable. So until the men, and this is in any community, has a plan, it's not like your wife is just that. First, there's human rights. There's nobody that's obligated to you. There's slavery is done for. So unless you have that type of pull, I guess you can make it happen. But for the most part, it's human rights. No one has to do anything. I don't own you and you don't own me. We have a contractual agreement that we're gonna move forward on this legacy that I created. The problem is a lot of the men, and we expect when we have talks that men and women have capacity on the conversation that we having. So when my man say, "Hey, you participating in white supremacy?" Well, there's some people, or white supremacy, my bad. Some people can't even comprehend what he even talking about. So it's already going to be over some people's head because it's not deliberate in what we saying, right? You're literally living it, drinking it, cooking it, acting it, feeling it, pressing every single moment of your life, and that's gonna be hard to accept. Like when you found out Christmas wasn't going on, but at any rate, this is our tribe. This is what it is. This is what we have, right? And so now we have to look at us in the mirror. This is what we got to work with. And what do we tweak? We're not doing nothing wrong. What we're trying to do is tweak. Absolutely, a woman is there and a helpmate, but what is she helping to do? What are we, the men? How are we guiding them? We worried about leading. We ain't got no plan to even guide or a roadmap on how we even gonna guide them. So now, when you guide someone and they're not going where they feel like they should be going or progressing, how they should be progressing, they're gonna ask questions. I can't be in church giving all my tithes, and I don't see that building you said we was gonna build. Respectfully, right? What's the excuse? You know what I'm saying? At some point, I'm gonna say anything that I do, I always say is my fault, because I'll be damned if I point blame at anybody and be like, well, that's an easy out for me. I can't do that. I never live like that. Even if it was their fault, it's my fault because I made the decision to mess with you. I made an improper decision somewhere in there in messing with you, in dealing with you. So it's going to always be my fault. Even lack of, or even let you spin me, it's my fault. So I just have to take that lesson, right? Take that blessing and push on with the plan. See, we're trying to get to Z in this A to Z plan. A lot of this be distractions. We can't even make it to D in this A to Z plan. But go ahead, y'all.
But now, let me say this, because see, this is the thing. When you say it's your fault, you also imply that I'm gonna correct my position. So if I'm with the wrong woman, I will leave the wrong woman, and that's an issue that I have totally brought up about black men, because we don't leave. I am the only one amongst my friend group that have left a woman. And if a black man has done that, he's usually the only guy amongst his friend group that left a woman. Black men don't leave women in the first place. So the thing is, we have bought into white supremacy because at the end of the day, they are leading us in a lot of areas that they should not be leading us in. I am not saying a woman can't lead. What I am saying is I deal with the reality that women don't want the responsibility that comes with leadership. And I say it that way because there's always women who want to argue something, and you got to say stuff to get them past the nonsense they talking about. Yeah, sure, a woman could lead, but does she want to? Because at the end of the day, what you do not see women doing, even if they do somehow get a better job and they meet a guy who's not doing as well as them, and they do seek these men out, so it ain't like they ain't finding them. You don't see women saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be the breadwinner, and you just be the house husband, or you just provide that secondary income, and I'm gonna come up with the plan. We gonna stick to the plan, and if the plan don't go right, I'm taking responsibility for the plan." We don't see women taking those roles on. So at the end of the day, I don't care what the excuse is. If you are still using the same plantation model that the slave owners came up with, just because you ain't got no slave owner does not mean you ain't participating in white supremacy. If you use the slave owners manual, you are participating in white supremacy. It is what it is. Your black man guilt is what leads you to do that, because you start doing things for her that you should not do, and you don't question why you're doing. You just say, well, she a black woman, and men over time have wronged women. Number one, I don't even buy into that propaganda because I know men. Black men are socialized to be afraid of women. So the last thing we do is do them wrong. I can't tell you ain't a small percentage of men who do women wrong. Yeah, they exist, but they're a very small group. We scared of them. We scared to do them wrong. So I already know we ain't doing them wrong. We scared to hit them. So I don't buy into all that stuff about abuse. We scared to ruin their image because they love their image so much. So we don't even talk about them like that. So at the end of the day, we ain't really doing nothing to them. And we are participating in white supremacy because they then lead us and we just give them stuff unquestioned without merit. And that's just stupid. But let me get Truth Teller get in here because he done came up. Go ahead, my brother.
What's going on, y'all? I almost dropped my phone when I saw that second video, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shout out to Chris Brown. Shout out to Dow Strawberry. Because these hoes won't make it if that was me. Good luck to them. I will say this. I think as men, as black men specifically, we need to get our pettiness level up. That's what our problem is. We associate pettiness with being feminine. And that's the most masculine thing you could do. Because you have to be comfortable with being the source of somebody's suffering. It's called life. You can't just sit there and say she's a woman and everything got to be good for her. We all got to experience some problems in life, but we all got to work through them, and we all got to have some pain over their life. It can't be all good. So she outside without her man, and she catch a fair one to the face. I'm not gonna be running to her aid. I'm gonna say, "Hey, where's your man?" And if she say I ain't got one, I'm gonna say, "Well, why don't you have one? It's dangerous out here. What are you doing?" You cannot sit there and try to save them like children. They're adults just like you are. Again, I announce this to the public. I am a feminist. I believe in equality. We need to start acting like it. We're all good. We'll clean this up quick fast.
All right. Now I'm gonna say, look, y'all, when it comes down to it, everybody gonna do something. Okay. But what are you really putting your effort and energy into? Now, if y'all new here and y'all been enjoying this content, y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay, because you ain't gonna get content quite like this nowhere else. And that's just real talk. Okay. It's hard to duplicate what I do over here. It's hard to duplicate what I do over here. All right. And again, if you disagree, you are always welcome because we want to hear why somebody disagrees so we can see if there's something that we got to take really into account. Now, I'm gonna say this, y'all. A random woman don't have to be accountable to me. So I understand the ideal about, well, she black and people gonna see her. So I get all that, but she don't have to be accountable to me. What can I do for a person who doesn't have to be accountable to me? Ain't really, if I do anything for them, that's just some charity and I keep it pushing. Now, I've personally decided to stop giving charity to women because they already get enough stuff. So our tax dollars and all that, we already provide enough for women. I just turned some woman down yesterday. Somebody at the gas station, looked like a crackhead for real. Wasn't give nothing. Just is what it is. Why is she in that position? Because she chose to be. She was a woman. I'm pretty sure before I saw her, she looked a lot better than what she did when I seen her. But my answer is just an automatic no because she a female. It's that simple, y'all. We give them plenty. I'm not giving any more women something out of my personal pocket. If God himself don't tell it to me, it ain't happening. And that's what it takes, y'all. It literally takes for God to put it in my spirit to give some woman some money. If he don't do it, you don't need it.
Hey, Roger, I don't know how in depth you went into the third video that you posted, man, but that was very, man, very telling, man. I don't know for sure. I have no proof, man. Like when Nia Long paused and called Chris Rock man. I mean, I think she wanted to call him a nigger. That's what I think,
Oh
but
yeah.
I could be wrong.
I
I
think
You
heard
know
it.
you're
what I'm saying?
right.
I heard it. I heard it.
And
I told her to stop
and
herself.
and she, and people laughed it off, man. And I think a lot of those audience are full of women, But anyway, and also she attempted to suppress what he was saying, man, and it was very subtle, small things. And she put her hand on his shoulder
Yeah.
when he was telling the truth about, like, yeah, she's
Right.
obnoxious, man. Because I would come to the conclusion that she probably is obnoxious, but based off the her role she played and how she looks, she looks like a sweet, innocent, good
Yep.
looking black
Well,
woman. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
going. I was
And
going to say that when she said, "Man," everybody just assumed he was doing her dirty. They didn't assume. Nobody
yeah,
assumed
exactly.
she could have just been a bitch
well,
on the date.
And,
well, here's
and black women, and I mean, I'll end with this one, and they do a lot of lying through omission, man, without telling the full, without giving the full context. And I'm glad Chris Rock gave the full context. She could at least, I mean, and I'm not saying women, I'm not encouraging women to do this, but she could have even gave him the dignity to lie and say, yeah, I'm just not seeing anyone. But since
well,
you're a nigger, then I can just tell you, yeah, I just got random dudes coming in and getting sexual, sexual access from me, and then everyone in the audience laughed, man, and it wasn't funny whatsoever, man. But anyway, I'll end right there.
well, here's another thing about that. Like, there was like another interview you might remember, like the one that she had with Jeezy, like where she basically saying that like she's into like thugs anyway.
What I took away is the fact that people would say Chris Rock is the typical guy who would allow a woman like that to get away with that. And the example for today's topic is that he didn't feel guilty about putting her in her place and not dealing with her ever again. Like people may say, oh, he this, he ugly, he that. So he should have been happy to even be on a date. But he didn't look at it like that. That's what we're talking about this morning. You know what I'm saying? He didn't buy into the white supremacy. He didn't buy into the conditioning. And most black men would have went ahead, slept with her and dated her and ended up a baby daddy with somebody who was not worthy. I think that's one of the biggest things to take away from the video is that Chris Rock is not the typical attractive black man, but he still told her, who is the typical attractive black woman, you ain't good enough. And that's what it takes. That's what it means.
Now I'm gonna say shout out to Joe's. He said they laughed because it was entertaining. No, it was also shocking. They didn't expect Chris Rock to tell the business because it's not likely that you're gonna hear some man say, yeah, I was rocking with her and I was feeling her, but since she told me she got access to all these other dicks, I ain't want to go forward. We don't expect men to say stuff like that. What we expect is, and I'm talking about from a general standpoint, what we expect is a man to be happy for whatever piece of pussy he can get.
Amen. Especially black men, because they consider us over-sexualized. That's not supposed to stop a black man, no matter how many bodies you have. It's on every panel. We still want it because that's all we want.
And if Chris Rock or any other man buys into that stuff, because you have a guilt about how black women been treated, and you got this guilt for what some other dude did to her. See, y'all, this is something I realized a long time ago. The dude only did what she wanted. Ain't nobody out here slapping women and she don't want to be slapped. If a woman don't want to be slapped, the first time she gets slapped, she exiting that situation. You ain't got to convince some delicate flower of woman to stay away from niggas that slap her. You don't have to convince her of that. She cool. She understand. She gets slapped, she out.
That made me think of a famous R&B singer. And somebody said, if you didn't want that R&B singer to do that to you, you could have moved out the way.
Shout out to Riley.
Golden showers. Huh?
Yeah,
Yes,
shout out to
sir.
Riley.
I'm just
So now the thing is, if you carry guilt for what random niggas do to women, you're gonna fall right into white supremacy because now the woman is gonna be directing what you're supposed to be doing with your life, which allows white supremacy to advance. And keep in mind, y'all, if you stand still in the race, you still fall further behind because the other guy's moving forward. That's just the way it works. So you can't separate this from actively helping white supremacy. When you choose to just have black male guilt and just do what women want done just because they want it done, you are literally using your time, money, and energy to advance white supremacy. You can't separate the two. You can want to, but you can't actually do it.
I think it's something we can actually take away from women's. So most men don't realize this, but when women think, they only think from the perspective of themselves, and it's very hard for them to have the perspective of anybody else. Even when they're in conversations talking about other people's perspectives, if you talk too long enough, that conversation always delves into what they see, how they feel, what they would do. They can't stay within the context of somebody else's perspective. They just don't think that way. I think as men, we need to kind of practice that more. Because if the first time I heard somebody tell me, "Your mama black," I said, my grandmother's black too. I don't understand what you mean. So when I said that, it was a chick. I said, my grandmother's black too. What do you mean? I honestly said it that way, right? So I had heard it before, but nobody had ever said it directly to me. I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I just didn't understand why she used it in that context. I forgot what we was talking about, but she said, "Yo, your mama black," and I was like, "So is my grandmother." So, and then she kind of went off on me when she said that, because a statement like that requires the programming that you should have received all along to kick in. Because if you really think about that statement, it doesn't mean anything, right? It only means something if they want to use your relationship with your mama, the fact that she's black, to try to spread it across other black women. It ain't got nothing to do with you, your mama, or anybody else you know. But the only way that works is brainwashing. And it's worked on all of us at some point in time in our lives, where we're like, you know what, I'm black, or my mama black. But that's cool if the situation is happening because you're black. Something racist is happening against you. All right, you can take that into account. But if it ain't got nothing to do with any kind of racial hate or discrimination or problems because of your race, and it's just because the chick want to be a hoe, we got a problem. How does your race got anything to do with the fact that you want to be a hoe and you out here hoeing and putting yourself in danger? You want me to help you? Why does you being black got anything to do with that? And it's the programming. We got to make sure we take a look inside when we hear these things. Say, why would I respond this way? Why does it make me think, okay, I got to protect her because she is black? Why would you say that, right? And you got to do some self digging before you can really understand. It's brainwashing. It's really what it boils down to.
You dropped a lot of good gems there. I don't even know if I could respond to it all. You're absolutely right about them really being stuck into their own perspective, but then at the same time, trying to tell us that we're the ones that need to be more emotionally intelligent or something like that. That whole idea of wanting to kind of go and do whatever they want to do, like that's attached to wanting the excitement of dysfunction, but still at the same time not wanting the consequences for it and wanting the benefits of stability at the same time. It's like no consequences for any type of actions, but at the same time getting everything that you want and not having to pay for it.
You know what? It's most of the time it's not even what they want, right?
Yeah.
They just kind of do stuff that hurts them, and you're like, well, why did you do that? Well, I
Well,
wasn't
the
thinking.
excitement.
The excitement, or you shouldn't have let me do it, or like, yo, what the hell you mean? What are you, a kid, a robot, a cat? What exactly are you saying? That somebody shouldn't have let you make a decision that caused you to hurt yourself? That's ridiculous. So, but it's part of the brainwashing game, and where you see it the most and where it's most problematic is when you're talking to other men who think this way, and they're trying to tell you wrong. Because why? They can't even tell you why you're wrong. They're just saying you're wrong because all they got is the belief system that was trained into them, the brainwashing. Because if somebody asked me why I did something, I would have a reason for why I did it. Now, whether what I did worked out or not, that's part of the risk you take for doing something. but you should always at least have a logical, decent reason to try to do something, right? But if you don't even have a decent, logical reason to try to do something, and it was just all 100% painful for you to do, but you went ahead and did it, and now you mad at somebody else because it hurt. That's come on, man.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
ain't gonna
the
lie
issue.
though.
Like we're responsible for stuff that we don't even control, though.
Well, see, what the thing is, it's not. Yes, they trained us to think that we're responsible, right? Because they'll
That's
do
why,
that
yeah.
leader. Yeah, they'll do that leader thing. Well, you a leader, right? Yeah. Listen, you can't. Don't listen. If I have a chick who give me those kind of statements back to me, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm a leader. That's why your ass gonna suffer. Because I decided that
Uh,
you gonna suffer. That's called
uh,
leadership, and a lot of men have a problem with that. Well, you're not supposed to let her suffer. Yeah, you are. She fucked up. She gotta suffer. This is what it is.
I want to jump in real quick because Jada, I just heard you about to say something, but Shark then came up too. So I'm gonna say this, y'all. First time somebody asked me, who said to me, "Your mama black," because that was like my first time hearing it. All I said was, "Yeah, she black." What they got to do with anything? So that the nonsense didn't even register with me. You know what I'm saying? Not the first time I heard it, it didn't even register. What they got to do with anything? Okay, so what if she black? And when women have used that about, you need to be with this black woman, your mama black. My mom ain't trying to marry no woman. So what they got to do with anything? Okay. And even with what you when people say, and I'm saying this because I want black men to be armed with witty, quick responses. If a woman says, "But ain't you the leader?" Your proper response is, "Exactly, I'm the leader. So why aren't you listening?" That's it. You stay in the authoritative role. If you gonna acknowledge I'm the leader, the only problem we got is why ain't you listening? Because you should be listening to the leader, and that's just real talk. But Jado, go ahead and say what you want to say real quick, and let me get Shark Sims right after Jado. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that your mama black thing. I mean, they use it for a reason because I don't know the the percentage of effectiveness that it yields or wields, but it works to some degree. And I'm trying to get. And I hope black men can break free of that. And also, we talk about the training. I think we have to acknowledge the nature part of it too, which I was trying to bring up, man. Just us as men, we want to fix things, we want to help people naturally, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Am I lying with that or not? I'm saying we want to be able to fix things. We have an ego and we have testosterone. We want to be able to say, I did that. I want to accomplish. I want to help. I want to fix. I want to do things. So it's a nature within us too. And they play on that as well. So it is training, definitely training, but it is a nature thing as well that we must acknowledge as well. Now, yeah, I'll let my plan.
Okay, real quick before Shark Sims start, uh, I saw something. A sword seed that I don't know if I gave him his wrench or not. I was just gonna tell you to put something, but you just dropped something, so I'm about to check to see if you got your wrench or not. All right, go ahead, Shark. How you doing, brother?
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing, fellas?
We good, brother. So far, we
Good,
good.
We're
bro.
good.
So I was at work and I was at work, so I was listening and all that. But the title is "Black Men Participate in White Supremacy." I think to a certain extent we do have to participate, but from the angle of, you ever play tug of war and you let the team tug as hard as they can, and there's that one moment where you feel they really tugging hard, you just let go and they just fall on their ass. That's what we got to do. We got to figure out that we got to figure out that one point when we just let them fall on their ass. And right now they falling on their ass, but for some reason we keep wanting to interject and save them from falling on their ass. Now my second thing is, it is a lot of training going on with how black men think. One day, me and my homies, we go to this whiskey tasting, and on the way back, we all chopping it up in the car, and everybody in the car, it's like 8 of us in the car, and we like, yeah, weave this and weave that. We don't like weed. We don't like weed. We get to the bar. My homeboy has a girlfriend. She always got a damn weave on. So she comes to the conclusion of saying, yeah, I'm still waiting for him to marry me to this day. It's been like 6 years. And I told her, I'm like, well, one thing is he don't like weave. When she asked this nigga the question, all these niggas just look just looked away. And I'm sitting here saying, "You bitch ass, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, mother suckers."
Fold it up. Fold it up.
Folded up on me,
like
and
a
it's
napkin.
and to this day, I really don't play them as close as I used to because I'm realizing we not the same. Like they aren't. They aren't. Everybody can't be like us. Everybody's not a leader. Even though you're a man, a lot of us ain't leaders because a leader's gonna tell you when you're doing something wrong. A leader's gonna tell you if they don't like how you do something. You know what I mean? A leader's gonna admit to you when they do something wrong. And I think that's what the major problem is. We not understanding when white people is about to fall on their ass, and we not understanding like, bro, you gotta talk up. For that lady on that first video to say, and I think she was lying, but for her to say she never heard she black men are at fear of being different places. I'm like, how you don't know this? Like how you can't tell by just looking at the stuff we go through. And another thing is women are very tricky. You know, a lot of women say, I like good vibes, I like good vibes. But did you ever sit down and look at the stuff that they partake in, from the drama TV shows to they love horror movies? And it's like you bring bad vibes into your life on your own. So what good vibes am I supposed to provide for a chaotic person? Because that's what really turns them on is chaos. And
Okay.
I land my
Right?
plane there.
Yeah, you right. It's chaos, but I'ma just say this in defense of the hoes. Okay, y'all know how I feel about them hoes. Listen, if they tell you who they are, believe them. Okay. When they was coming from that date, and they finally got the call a week later. Well, when they was on that date, and she said she's single, but she know how to find penis. I mean, come on. You supposed to think, what are you supposed to think at that point? That was your opening. Oh, word? Okay, cool. That's all you needed to hear. There's no reason to treat a woman of that nature like a wife or respectable lady. She just gave you the bat signal. That ain't how this is gonna flow. So I will not knock a dude for approaching it appropriately. Now, all these chicks, they walk around saying men treat them like this and men treat them like that. And then when you get the details, you realize, oh, you was performing a whole role the whole time. Why did you think he's going to treat you like a respectable lady if you was a hoe in a hoe's uniform the whole time? I say this to my sisters, by the way, y'all. I got four sisters. Two of them ain't married, and one of them is in her 50s. One of them is in her 30s. I say this to them. I'm like, well, I don't think you could be a wife. They get mad at me. I'm like, how you figure? Well, you ain't never been married, so obviously you're not good at that role. What do you want me to say? And you got to think about it like work, y'all. They turn 18, man. It's like getting your first job. If you've been working in your job for 12 to 15 years, that's 18 to 30. It's 12 years. That means if she ain't never got married and she's now 30 or 30 plus, she's been in the game for a while. That's called an experienced employee, i.e., a hoe that has some experience in the game. You can't turn that into a wife. She can't go back from that life. It's over. You can't spend a decade and a half. Yo, you can't spend a decade and a half dealing drugs and committing crime and suddenly go cold turkey. When you turn 35, it's not going. It can't work, y'all. Stop. They are who they are.
All right. I want to read this by Black Cruz Strikes. He said, Jado, that's why it's important. Excuse me. That's why it's so important you pick a woman who is on your program, so you don't waste much of your productive life wasting all of that great masculine goodwill most black men want to share. And you know what? I think that's a very important point, because it ain't like black men don't want to be good to black women. But at the end of the day, we got to pay attention to what's really going on out here. And the fact that we want to share with black women makes it that much harder for us not to have this black male guilt, that we feel responsible for women, and women use it from a relationship standpoint. We feel responsible for women who chose to have relationships with men that they somehow think are not up to par, even though they was having sex with them. Now, I don't understand how you're not up to par with a man you're having sex. You are a woman. I do understand men having sex with women that ain't up to par. But as a woman, why would you have sex with a man that ain't up to par? So I don't even buy into that. I think the men she has sex with is up to par. It's just men don't want to recognize who she is as a person. When she been with Glocktavius, is y'all, it's Sarah B got in the chat right now. If she been with Glocktavius,
God damn.
that's because Glocktavius good enough for her. That's it. You know, at some point in time, a woman got to have standards, and black women generally don't have any. And I know that's hard for men to accept. They really don't have any. And when you allow black male guilt to start running you, and she ain't got no standards in the first place, and you think you ain't performing for white supremacy, you are highly misled. Okay? It's nothing wrong with getting married to a young woman and letting her pick which house she want to live in as long as y'all can afford it. Nothing wrong with that. But when you start doing every assignment she wants to give you so your family cannot advance, because that's what white supremacy gonna tell her to do. Spend your time, money, and energy doing nonsense so you cannot advance your family. You buying
Roger,
into black male guilt, you are literally participating in white supremacy at that point.
I just want to put in a vote, Roger.
True.
If Glocktavius ever call up and he's a productive, high performing black man, and he call up here cursing and yelling because we keep using his name in these derogatory situations, we just need to go ahead and let him vent. Glocktavius, if you ever do call up to the panel, we understand, player. We understand. Just go ahead and get it all out. All right. Sorry, player. Sorry.
All right. How Life Matters says I have to talk like this because it deletes my message. Brother, just try to do a whole message, okay? Because I assume you're a good brother. I ain't got nothing against you. Just try, brother. Just try, okay? Now, if it don't let you, that's one thing. But sometimes you just got to change word in the message. I do understand that, there are certain things that are held back, y'all. I do get that. You know what I'm saying? And I probably could even set my channel a little bit different, but because I got so many trolls that want to see the channel go down, I don't. So I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, just try. That's all, brother. Just try. Okay. And I'm gonna say shout out to Black Rule Strikes one more again. He said, I think most men need women, but they need the right woman. We
Now
need
you
a
talking like hot
vessel.
sauce.
We need a vessel from which our power and energies flow. But the vessel we pick is crucial. It can make all the difference in the world. Now, I can say I'm never gonna say a man needs a woman, and I'm gonna say, y'all, based on my beliefs, I literally believe God created Adam first to let men understand you don't need your woman. It is great to have her. Even he said it's not good to be alone, but I think the reason he did it at the same time. Now, I can't say I actually know, what I'm saying, his ways are higher than our ways, but I think he did that for a reason. And part of that reason was for you to understand as a man, you don't need her. It is great to have her, but you do not need her. That's my personal belief, real talk. But I do agree with everything else that Black Rule said in that statement. And I do believe you need to get the right one. And I do believe we as men, that right one should advance black people as a whole. Because if you get the right woman and you have a family, your family advances beyond what your mother and father did, you took us in the right direction. And what more can I ask of you? Now, I'm not saying you can't do charity for other people here and there. I have personally basically exhausted my charity toward single women. I have done some of it before in the past, and I just don't elect to do it anymore. And I'm telling y'all, God himself needs to let me know to do it for me to do it. Now, if God say do it, I'm going to do it. But if he ain't telling me to do it, I ain't got no interest. If I help a man, I help a family 9 times out of 10. If I help a woman, all I did was help some woman keep children probably in a bad position. And that's just real talk. And I have to be able to justify my activity with myself. Do I want to help women keep children in a bad situation? Because think about it, y'all. Why she need my help in the first place if she ain't already got some kids who are suffering under the fact that they're not allowed to be raised with their own fathers? What she need my help for in the first place if that's not the actual situation going on? And I understand there's going to be an increase of single women with no jobs and whatnot out here. It's America. You can give yourself a job.
You know what a lot of this reminds me of is like from that movie Troy, where Achilles was just kind of like sitting on the sidelines, because he had like this dispute and whatnot. He had to sit there and watch the battle go down and just rattle off all the stuff that they should be doing that they're not doing while they're losing the battle. Kind of like a great warrior just stuck there kind of watching the show.
And I'm going to say shout out to Black Rule Strikes one more time. He says we literally don't survive as a species without women. And y'all, and that's why I do believe women are going to be important to a certain degree anyway. I just think, unfortunately, stuff has gotten so out of hand that if men don't just pull back and start really doing what needs to be done, we won't survive as a species. I don't believe we will if men won't make women do what's necessary to gain our approval. The way I see us going and the way I see women doing, they're seeking the approval of white supremacy. And at the end of the day, that's going to kill us, literally. As long as you got black women who want the approval of white supremacy, we're going to die off as a people. That's literally where we're going.
That's true.
So my thing is, we might as well fight. We might as well say, no, you need to be where I accept you. And if women refuse to be there, it is not, I don't need to worry about what happens to her. I'm not going to even burden my spirit with what happened to her. I don't have no reason to. I'm never going to feel guilty. It's cool. Everybody has a right to succeed, but you also got a right to fail. If you don't want to get with a good man that's going to help you succeed, and you want to go at it on your own, that's the rules of this country. You can go at it on your own. But I don't care if you can't make it or not. I ain't thinking about you. I'm thinking about me. That's real talk, y'all. I ain't thinking about you. I'm thinking about me. I got to worry about me and mine. And who's mine? My community is part of mine. So what am I looking at then? I'm looking at men, and I'm willing to help any man when he says, my wife brought this issue to me. We need to do something about it. I'm willing to work with men on stuff like that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But me helping random women, no, that's time wasted. She needs somebody who's really going to invest in her. And if she don't have somebody who's really going to invest in her, why should that be my concern? It's not that hard to get a black man to do right by you. It just ain't that hard, man. I hear them say all this stuff. I don't buy into none of it because I know black men. And realistically, most of us are afraid to do wrong to them.
I think at this point they're kind of like addicted to it, like as an addiction, addicted to white supremacy. It's been centuries.
The one thing I wanted to add is that they check your temperature. And what I would say is that when you make this transition, like when they say your mama black, it's a way to check your temperature to see if you are conditioned. And what I noticed that when you make this transition, you put off it's like a repulsive smell from a super predator, right? They no longer find you attractive, right? And I find that when I walk in the rooms and stuff, the women that we're talking about, when you actually put on this persona and you wake up and you come out of the water, you find yourself getting that question and getting these type of conversations a lot more because they find you attractive. They know that you're capable. You typically at work. But the thing is, they know that you personify certain things that this brother is not going to go for the okie doke, right? And you know what people say to me without even knowing what my wife looked like? You look like you date white women. I've gotten that from attractive black women in the professional environment several times, simply by my etiquette and my vocabulary. You look like you date white women. So there is a way to free yourself, and there's a way to construct your well-being, and it puts off a certain smell, and they know it. You know what I'm saying? And they'll come up to you and they'll say certain things like the "you mama black" comment, or "you look like you date white woman" comment. You know what I'm saying? And I get that a lot, and I'm okay with it. But I just want to prepare you. That's what comes along with the territory of not having this guilt. You know, I wear it as a badge. You know, I giggle about the shit because they already know he's not conditioned. They could tell when you wake up from the hypnosis. They could see it and smell it on you. This brother ain't hypnotized no more. Like, what provoked you to come over here in a professional environment and say to me, you look like you date white women? What about me? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to add that when you do make this transition, it's visible. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I just welcome y'all into the water because the water is fine. You feel me?
The
What
women can definitely smell it on you. Let me say
what
this
did
real quick, and then you got to inspire truth. Black Rule Strike says there are billions of females throughout this planet. Do not allow this experience here to cloud your perspective. Most women on this planet would view a fit, productive black man to be like a god. And that's real talk, y'all. That's real talk. Go ahead, Inspire.
I was just gonna say that that's really like a smoke screen when they said that you don't look like you date black women. What they're really saying is that you look like you're not compromised. Like you look like you're not a compromised male.
I do agree with that. And I also believe it means you look like you wouldn't put up with my nonsense. That's the vibe
Hey,
I'm catching from you.
another phrase, just to add to what you guys are saying, because I agree 100%. Another phrase that they use, another more code words. Can you handle me? And we're not talking about in a sexual way, but they'll say, "Can you handle me?"
Now, I'm going to say,
Yeah,
when
they
you
do.
think about these different things, y'all, the real question is, can I direct you into white supremacy? Because that's what I'm on. You may think you a good man and all that, but if I can't direct you into white supremacy, I want to participate with you. And see, a lot of men, y'all take stuff personally because you think it's about something to do with men and women. No, it's a lot of stuff is going on that we ain't really even paying attention to. Y'all, do y'all understand that because I operate as a man, just in regular normal society, doing regular normal things, women have issues with me because they're used to talking to black men like they do not matter. And because I don't carry myself that way, it rubs them the wrong way. You know, I remember telling a young lady not too long ago. She, you know, I'm trying to help somebody do something. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much, but I'm trying to help somebody do something. Okay, I'm coaching her on how to help the man. She doing everything but what I tell her to do. You know what I said to her? I said, you called an expert because well, she got involved because somebody else, because a dude called me. She was helping the dude. I said he called an expert because I know what I'm talking about. I didn't ask you nothing. I ain't got no questions for you. The only thing I've been on this phone doing, because the dude called me, he good with me like that, where he can just call. The only thing we've been doing is me telling you what to do, and you keep responding to me, which lets me know you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. I ain't got no questions for you. What you think don't matter to me. Your agenda is not important to me. The only thing that matters is doing what I tell you to do. Now, if you want to understand stuff later, I can explain all kinds of stuff to you later. But right now, the man called for some help. He called an expert to get the help. If you call yourself helping him, then do what I'm telling you to do. Now, she was offended. And I said, why are we on the phone if you ain't doing what I tell you to do? You got an expert, but you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. What's the point of talk? What's the point in excuse me. What is the point in us talking? I'm letting know I'm finna hang up on you because I ain't got time for nonsense. At the end of the day, the man needed an expert. He called me. You was there with him. He didn't call you. Why? You think I'm finna argue with you? It's that simple at the end. But see, I'm a man and I'm gonna act like a man at all times. It's just that simple at the end of the day. I ain't got to argue with people who don't know nothing. And I ain't saying she don't know nothing, but in the context of what we dealing with, that man called me because you obviously didn't know what to do because you was there with him. So why am I going to argue with you? What makes you think that I'm gonna argue with somebody who's not an expert and the man called one. Now this may seem small to y'all, but this is how we operate in America. Okay. I usually don't get problems with men though. Men understand when they call an expert, they just want the information. I give them the information and it's over with. Women want to go through all kinds of unnecessary stuff. And I don't be having time to play with people. I really don't. And my time is money. And that's just real talk. Go ahead. Who was that I stopped? Was that Inspired?
I don't think it was me.
Well, who else finna say something? Go on, say what you was about to say.
Hey, Roger, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to say the underlining source of these problems is disrespect. In all the videos, there was disrespect. Neil, if you supposed to be going out with me and I ask you about something like that and you say I can get, that's disrespectful. A woman should not be who's trying to date somebody should be saying something to another man like that. That's total disrespect. And a lot of times we as black men get disrespected by black women and don't even know that we're getting disrespected. And it's vicious.
Absolutely right.
Wait a minute, y'all. Wasn't you up here earlier? Sad nigga. Was you here earlier?
Yeah.
Yes, you were. He coming with a different name. And Kryptonia came back. You ain't said nothing since you came back, Kryptonia. Are you jumping in or what?
Nah, I'll wait.
Oh, well, let me say this to y'all too, just for panel etiquette, y'all. Once y'all been up before, if you leave and come back, don't look for me to give you an opening statement. Just get in like everybody else getting in. If you've already came up before and got an opening statement in.
I was quiet. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying nothing to you. I just want that to be known so anybody who joins the panel gonna know. Once I got you in and got your opening statement, then when the conversation flows, just get on in there. Don't look for me to bring you in again. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Roger, the story you just told was the man and the woman. Were they a couple?
No, they weren't a couple.
They
The
weren't. Okay.
woman was working for the man, but he was having some kind of problem.
Got
So
it.
he called an expert. He got my number. He just dial me up whenever he want. That we got a relationship where he can just call me when he want to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell him what to do. But the thing is like he trying to get help with something. It ain't you you working for him. Well, if you his employee, do what you told. Yeah. If she get on, okay, let me get in. He put it on speakerphone so she can quote unquote help. It's like the only way you can help is to do what you told to do at this point. He called me for a reason. You was there. If y'all could have solved it, he would have never called me. So why you think I need to argue with you? You weren't good enough to help him. That's why he called me in the first place. And I ain't gonna spend all day on the phone arguing with somebody. You don't know nothing.
I don't know. That I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a I don't want to. Yeah, I'll leave it alone.
It's just illegal, Roger.
Well, I understand she's looking at me as a nigga at that point. And that's what my thing is. I'm not finna sit here and argue with you because he called me because he wanted some help. Why am I arguing with you? You was in the room with him.
She's trying to find a way to be she's trying to find a way to be an authority, but didn't have any kind of a pathway to assert any kind of authority.
Yeah. And she got salty with me too, because I say something to people. She was like, you ain't being patient enough with me. I said, no, you just bad at your job. That's what it is. The man called an expert. You call yourself trying to help him and you doing everything but listening to the expert. No, you're just bad at your job. I can't play that game with you. She trying to play a game like it's my fault. You're being impatient. No, I'm not impatient. You just not that bright. I ain't say that to her because I try to be respectful to people. But I did tell her, you're just not good at your job because an expert told you exactly what to do. And all you had to do was stop thinking and just listen to what the expert said. That's all you had to do. So you're not good at your job because you can't take orders well. Anybody who can't take orders well, how can you be good at your job? That's simple at the end of the day. And obviously he had the problem and you literally was there. So you should have never had to call me in the first place if you knew what you was talking about. So let's stop pretending you know something and just deal with the fact that you're ignorant to this situation.
Hey, Roger. I put that on that man, bro. Whoever that boss was, man. That's just me. Maybe my thinking is wrong.
I mean, I ain't gonna say ain't nothing to him, but at the end of the day, well, I'll put it like this: I would find better help if I was him. I'll say that. I would find some better help. Maybe he can't afford better help or something. I don't know his situation like that, but I just take it as I need new help.
Was she his secretary? Was she his secretary?
I don't know exactly what her position was, but she said something. I figured out she worked for that man because she said something about, huh?
And she looked good, right?
No, I didn't see it was over the phone, but she said something about clocking out. She said something about clocking out, so I picked up she worked for him.
Where you going with that, bro? Where you going with that, man?
I just want to know if she sounded like she looked good, because if she looked good, and look, if my secretary looked good, and Roger called my spot, it's on her. It's Roger's fault.
No, he called me. She kind of, got in to help him.
If I call you to help, and you're telling my good-looking secretary she's not that bright, me gonna have a problem later on.
Well, I guess it depends on why you hired.
Well, nobody she's hired. Look at her.
Well, I can't say what she looked like. I ain't seen her, so I don't know. Maybe she hot stuff. That could. To me, she just came off as an idiot. Because anybody who gives you very clear and y'all, when I talk to y'all, I try to make stuff so obvious. Like I try to talk to you in a way that a child can follow instructions. So when you can't understand what I'm saying, I be flabbergasted, but I accept that there's stupid people out there.
Brother, secretaries are there to look good. Good-looking women don't need to be smart. I mean, see, this is my problem, man. We don't look at the world how it's supposed to be. If the secretaries are looking good, it shows how big and powerful my company is. That is what they're there for. Put the paper here, put the paper there, answer the phone. That's what they're there for. And look good.
That can very much be the case. And I'm not even against a man that's doing it, but I don't want to talk to you all day. That's my thing. You're not my friend.
I mean, but that's the equivalent of going to an 8th grader and asking them about the meaning of life, right? Come on, man. You got to meet people where they're at.
Well, I call myself doing it. I call myself doing it. I didn't put like this. I didn't know how to sound any dumber than I was already sounding the way I was telling her what to do. I couldn't make it sound dumb.
You didn't speak her language.
I think a child could have followed my instructions and been perfectly fine. So,
okay, you see that little tube? You see that little circle? Imagine that's a penis that normally goes in your mouth, and you put it in like that. Oh, okay, I understand. See, there's your language.
Well, I ain't got to deal with everybody. She ain't my friend, so I didn't have no problem. I'm not going to even say I insulted her. I was just pointing out the fact that you're bad at your job, because to me, that's what you are. If you get on the phone with me and you can't follow simple instructions, you can't be that good at whatever job you're doing. But y'all, we about to hit the 3-hour mark, so I'm finna go into closing statements. So since you done came back up and you talking some stuff, you gonna have to give a closing statement now. So Sad Nigga Jones, give a closing statement. We're gonna work our way back toward Jado.
Sure. So black men guilt, black men participating in white supremacy. It was a good topic, but we dove into the real perpetrator, which were the drug dealers, the hip hop artists, men like that who really participate in white supremacy, right? Especially the hip hop artists and the drug dealers that really damages the black race. And I'll pass the mic on that.
Okay, appreciate it. And we got more shows in the future, so I'm sure we'll get into some of that stuff at some point. Tunnel Runner, you got the mic.
Yes, brothers, protect yourself at all times. And I mean, don't let anybody disrespect you. Respect yourself and don't let people disrespect you.
All right. Kryptonia Emperor Dessalines. Any last words on this one?
Yeah. Remember the word, gentlemen. That's not your problem. Your wallet, your choice, and above all, fuck them kids.
All right, Shark Sims, you got it. Shark Sims going once. Shark Sims going twice. Shark Sims in the bathroom, y'all. That's what's going on. He in the bathroom. Perfect timing. You got it.
I would just say thank you, and don't feel bad for being the bad guy, man. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy, and for somebody who plays the bad guy a lot of the time, come on in, man. Come over to the dark side. You know what I'm saying? I think Palpatine and Darth Vader got a bad rap. You know what I'm saying? Think about the story. Who would you rather be in the long run? I'm gonna go with Palpatine or Darth Vader. You know, I'd rather be on the dark side, the Emperor. So that's all I would say. I don't have no guilt for being the bad guy. And if you looked at Chris Rock in that video, that was one thing I take away from this. This whole thing is Chris Rock laughed about how he dissed her. He didn't feel no remorse. Even, some brothers would have been up there like, I apologize, I'm sorry. He laughed in her face. And tapped her like, no, you told it. I'm about to tell you. I don't feel bad for what I did at all. At all. No guilt. None whatsoever. None. Callous, cold, calculated. Yeah, man. The dark side. Welcome.
Okay, Jado, it's on you.
Yeah, I think black men as a whole. I think a lot of us were born into a psychological or a mental prison, man. Like we feel like trapped within this, man, and we've kind of grown accustomed to it. But it's all an illusion, man. In reality, we're free. So you don't have to feel guilty about anything. You're free. There's no real prison there, man. It may be something psychologically that they try to put upon you, but you're actually free. So exert your freedom, man. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't have to feel guilty about anything. I'll end right there.
Okay, y'all, I'm finna close it out. I'm gonna say this again because somebody just came back. Somebody just came backstage, but they may be here for the after show. Y'all, if y'all are coming at the end of a show and you try to say something before I close out, you better say it quick in the private chat so I'll realize it. But when people come up, once I start something like, if I do a round of a final statement, I'm going to assume you're here for the after show. I just want y'all to know, I'm just going to assume you here for the after show. So you have to tell me something different. But I think it's been a great show. I think this is something black men truly need to consider. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Chicago time. Not where you live, Chicago time. And y'all think about this concept. If you are moving out of guilt for stuff that you did not do, how could you be listening to some black woman who's paying attention to the fact that you're moving out of guilt? How can she ask you to do stuff that's not going to have you participating in white supremacy? Because if a woman really messes with you like that and she see you moving out of guilt, the only reason she's gonna want you to operate like that is because she is a white supremacist. It is what it is. Stop thinking about color and start understanding it's just an ideology. Anybody can participate in it. And I'm going to leave it right there, y'all. Have a great rest of y'all day. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.